All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you all have your seats. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, along with General Counsel Flug, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Held, and myself, Secretary of Authority Donahue. If you have any cell phones, please silence them. Appreciate that. When you come up to speak, please speak into the microphone clearly. This all goes on to a recording for the archives, and if you're not at the microphone, we're not going to pick up what you have to say. The next meeting of the authority will be on September 27th. And we're going to call the items in order. We're going to start off with Albany first, and then Buffalo, and then here in New York City. And Chairman, unless you have anything else to...
Yeah, I do. As you just heard, Tom Donahue has been appointed Secretary to the Authority, so we welcome him. And
what's his name again?
Tom Donahue. Yeah, I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. He's been with the Authority for many years, and we welcome him. And I want to thank Jackie Held. Jackie has been doing two jobs for over a year. She's been the Commissioner of Licensing as well as the Secretary of the Authority, and I'm sure she's quite happy to just be doing one for the first time since really I've been in office. So I do want to thank her. So Jackie, thank you. And the meeting, I'm sure Tom will be fine, but I guarantee he doesn't run them as good as she does.
So I can make mistakes and really won't matter then.
Yeah.
All right, the first item is up in Albany. It's 02021. It's SG Bourbon LLC. I believe there's someone from, in this matter, in Albany, and New York City too, rather.
Morning. Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Chairman. The morning, Secretary, Commissioner Held. I'm Mike Gary. I have the privilege to represent the applicant this morning.
So before you get started, do we have any opposition in Albany? Any opposition here? Okay, go ahead.
Someone signed in up in Albany for this.
Probably the client, right? Your client in Albany?
My clients are here, Your Honor.
Can they come
Chairman.
up with you?
Yes, please come up.
Is there anyone in Albany related to this case?
It's SG Bourbon in Troy, the package store.
My apologies, we have 3 in opposition.
Okay, we're going to let them go first then. Go ahead. They should go first up in Albany.
Okay, you want to go first? Yeah. Everybody see me?
Yes.
Good morning, Board and Commissioner Held. My name is Alyssa Snyder. I'm here on behalf of BCH Corp. I just wanted to express my opposition to this application. I have a couple of points I just wanted the board just to take into consideration when looking at this application and making their determination. The first point is the closest, the law requires that you guys looked at the closest 4 liquor stores. And I understand that you guys use Google Maps for the distance, which I believe 2 of the liquor stores that were looked into for their financials were actually across the river in a different county. We actually are in the same county and in close proximity to where this liquor store is looking to be placed. And so our sales have actually been decreasing over the past couple years. And that brings me to my second point, which is public convenience. Right now, we are oversaturated in our area, and obviously, you guys have seen financials, so I'm guessing the numbers will actually show that in our area, our gross sales have actually declined over the past couple years, and especially since, I believe it was 2014, when there was a license that was granted in West Sand Lake, which is also in close proximity to all of our stores in the area. And I believe it's Heller's. When they actually got licensed and started up and running, that's when a dramatic decrease in our sales, as well as other liquor stores in the area, have also declined. So just by numbers itself, we believe that the area is oversaturated, and if there is a liquor store that comes in along this size in the area, adding another place for customers to go, we will a lot of us will end up out of business. And we are a lot of mom and pop shops. We are local. We are residents in the area. And my third point is in reference to creating jobs. I understand that, putting in a new business will create jobs. However, in a liquor store where you have so many owners, they're going to be managing the business. They'll be employing maybe 4, 5, 6 employees, which is great. We're all for having jobs created in our area. The only problem is it worth those 4 or 5, 6 jobs and putting probably 2 times or 3 times more of that out of business? And then we're going to have empty buildings in the area because based on our gross sales, having a liquor store of this size come into the area, we will go under. Thank you for your time and your consideration, and I hope this helps in making your determination.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can read that.
Hello, my name is Mario DiDomenico. I own Mario's Wine and Spirits. My store location is a mile down the road from this warehouse that is going to be coming in if you approve this. It's about 9 times the size of my little store, and it would financially hurt me. Not alone, probably 4 or 5 other stores in my area. There's within 3 miles, there's 6 liquor stores in the area right now, and over the river there's probably another 1 or 2 more, maybe 4 or 5 miles. So I am opposing this SG Urban liquor store.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My name is Shannon Briscoe and I own Save More Wines and Liquors. I am one of the stores that is closest with your requirements for submitting my sales. I too oppose this new store. While I understand declining sales of individual stores around the proposed sites are not of concern of the authority, but public convenience and advantage is of the utmost importance, I would like to mention these few points. Reduced sales for existing stores means less money available to support local organizations and communities. This means fewer people in the community will benefit from This means that fewer people in the community will benefit from local support to help them sustain their lifestyles. Organizations such as churches, veterans, food pantries, just to name a few. This is not positive for public convenience and advantage. Existing stores may also have layoffs or reduced hours for employees. This leads to more people having a harder time making ends meet or not having discretionary income, which is also not positive for public convenience and advantage. A few years ago, you approved a store named Stephanie's, which didn't last but a short few years because of a lack of sales. Lower sales for existing stores results in higher prices on the shelf and less selection because we don't have the money to invest in the inventory, which again is not positive for public convenience and advantage. I would also like to mention that directly across the street from this proposed location is the Hudson Valley Community College and a private high school named LaSalle Institute. My business has been a family-run business for 40 years. I work in the store on a daily basis. There is much more involved than just selling products. I take pride in the fact that I have played a part in the development of my community. I enjoy meeting people and interacting with them. But if larger, multiple owner stores are allowed to exist, all of this personalization disappears. In closing, I hope you will consider that there are many more factors to consider than just declining sales in existing stores. But if smaller existing mom and pop stores are forced out of business, how is it convenient for consumers? You have defeated the purpose of convenience and advantage by replacing multiple stores with one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
on.
Chairman. As you know, this is an application for an off-premise wine and liquor store. The location is 75 Vandenberg Avenue, which is on Route 4 in the city of Troy and abutting the town of North Greenbush. The location is in a shopping center that is several doors away from the only large supermarket in the area, which is a Price Chopper, now converted to a more upscale Market 32, as the Price Chopper company has put in. There's more than adequate parking. It's a very large parking lot. There should be no issues with parking whatsoever. The location is also serviced by the bus line that would allow people without vehicles to also utilize the store. The size of the store will offer the public a better selection. None of the local stores, upon information and belief, have a website, and so the convenience of shopping online and picking up or delivering from your online shopping is not available in the neighborhood over there. But the Route 4 corridor has seen some very, very substantial development over the last decade or so. We've added millions of square feet of space, including the RPI Tech Park, including a number of additional shopping centers and apartment complexes that are being built. We submit that the application will serve the public convenience and advantage for the reasons that we outlined in our public interest statement, and that we believe that the applicants here are well qualified. They're all but one have experience as on-premise licensees or employees. There are no disciplinary history with any of the members of the LLC that are applying. They've shown over the years they are careful operators. So we would urge the authority to act favorably upon this application. Our clients intend to feature New York State wines and spirits, and will be operating a website and also engaged in internet sales. Thank you very much.
What, so they're going to ship just locally, or are they shipping?
No, they will ship in accord with regulations, Mr. Chairman, only into those states that allow that shipping. So, and, of course, intrastate in New York State also.
And every one of them has experience in the alcohol business, I see, as
Only Drew Carty, or Andrew Cartwright, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, has not worked in the business. The two of our existing members are operating now on-premise licenses in the city of Saratoga. Mr. Southwood has recently sold 2 other establishments in Saratoga, Your Honor, or Mr. Chairman, and they all have substantial experience in the business.
And what are they going to do that these other stores don't do besides have better selection, as you said?
Well,
And the internet sales.
It will be website, Your Honor, but it's also a convenience. The standard, as you're well aware, is public convenience and advantage. The proximity to the grocery store here in the shopping center will be a great advantage to those people shopping for groceries, and it'll be basically one-stop shopping. They would be able to utilize also Market 32 and also this convenient location. So.
I have a couple questions. It was mentioned another store, Stephanie's, closed. Can you find that?
I did look that up. It was closed sometime prior to 2006.
Okay. Any reason why?
They went in 2003 until the last couple of years.
Okay.
I should have that on.
Um,
They were canceled.
Canceled. Okay. All right. What was their address?
They're at 449 North Greenbush Road, that's Route 4, isn't it? Yeah. I think just down I think I might actually know where that one was.
The other stores, you say, to the best of your belief, they don't have any online shopping.
That's my understanding, yes, Commissioner.
The other stores, is that true? Is that the case?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just checking. Your store's going to be pretty large, almost 6,000 square feet. Why so large?
Well, it was really the availability of the space.
Okay.
That's what was available in the shopping center, so it was either take that space or look for another location in the area. So we dealt with the leasing officer and the owner of the plaza over there. The shopping center there is about 13 years old, I believe.
Yep.
Commissioner, and I don't believe that there ever was a liquor store in that area. In fact, the DeMio store and the Mario store are the two closest stores, and both have been long-standing operations. They're smaller stores, and frankly, we think the public deserves a better selection and a better convenient location for their shopping, particularly with the Price Chopper Market right next door. So.
Okay. Are you planning to offer anything different than what the other stores offer?
Well, they will feature New York products and and a better selection, obviously, of New York State wines. But generally, it's going to be a large selection. With the upgrading of the Price Chopper to the Market 32, that's their upscale store. So their own marketing, from what I understand, shows the need for higher priced products and more convenient prepared meals and different things that are being featured in those Market 32s now.
So what percentage of New York wines are you going to have?
Well, we hope to have at least 15 or 20% of our SKUs would be New York State products. So.
My problem is, as Commissioner Ford pointed out, that this is an enormous store, and it looks like it's all retail space.
It will be some storage. All of the rear area, which is probably
1,000 square feet.
about 1,000 plus square feet, will be simply the backroom storage area. The plan is to store all product on site.
I mean, if you're willing to make it smaller, I would be more likely to consider it, meaning the retail space smaller. But so if there's 1,000 and it is almost 6,000, that means you almost have 5,000 square feet of retail space. And I just, based on the sales numbers, as the opposition has pointed out, I don't know that 5,000 is something that is in the public convenience and advantage.
Well, we certainly can enlarge our storage. Obviously, the ability to buy at larger case discounting is a great advantage, not only for the operator, but for pricing for the public. I'm sure
Well, that won't affect your ability to buy.
I'm sorry?
That shouldn't affect your ability to buy. I'm not taking square feet away. I'm taking it away from the retail.
Yes, what I'm saying to you is that if we enlarge our storage area, that will not, we still would be able to take advantage of the case discounting and get some better pricing. So.
It looks like
So
storage is a pretty small part of the store according to your floor plan right now.
Well, we certainly would be amenable to any suggestion about limiting the size of the store and increasing our storage area.
I was thinking more in the term, I was thinking in terms of perhaps 2,500 square feet, which is less than half of the retail space right now.
That may be a little bit tight. That is not going to give us any larger. The one store is 2,000, the other store is 1,200, Mr. Chairman.
See, I buy your argument about the convenience and advantage of being in the plaza, but the sales of the surrounding stores don't indicate that there is a drastic need for another liquor store there. There has been increases and decreases in most of them. So that's where I'm at.
Well, the sales appear to be fairly constant, Your Honor, but Mr. Chairman, but that may be a function of the stores themselves. Many of the new employees that are working in the Route 4 corridor, particularly the RPI Tech Park and those areas, a lot of them are Albany County residents upon information and belief, and it may be that they're just not shopping those smaller stores.
No, and I think and I don't remember which of the opposition brought this up, but I am familiar with the area, and I think Heller's probably did hurt them.
Well, there's no question. Heller's is located in West Sand Lake, and it's next to the Hannaford Market over there. Chairman Rosen approved the store, I think, about 4 years or so ago over there.
So that's, I don't know that it's a function of the stores themselves, but as to the number of stores. So, if you could do 2,500, I would probably, and 20%, guaranteed 20% New York products, I could probably live with it.
The square footage is my issue because it doesn't do any good to have that amount of storage and to bring in those products if I can't display them and sell them.
I know.
So it's almost like I might as well,
I know, but unfortunately, you picked a location that right now is not screaming for another liquor
well,
store.
if you look on, I think their numbers that
At
they
least
sent in-
not a liquor store of this size.
Well, if you look at their numbers that they sent in, I think there was only 1 or 2 liquor stores, and I think they're owned by the same people that have not shown an increase over the last few years. Also, right.
I don't have, the only increase I have is the furthest of the 4 closest, which is Shantz.
Across the river in a different county.
Right, and I'm not even counting them. I'm counting the 2 closest, the 2 closest are both in Troy, and they both have flat sales over the last 4 years.
I mean, that could be operator error, I don't know.
Or it could be the Hellers.
It could be, I'm not familiar with Hellers, I don't get over to West Sand Lake too much, but also directly behind this, they're building 300 new condos currently right now. That's only one development that's going on. There's multiple developments in that area within walking distance to that plaza. There's also a TJ Maxx. Typically, women shop there. Women are your biggest demographic for wine. So, I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. right
I'm
next
not
door to the
questioning, you know, I think there is a public convenience and advantage to having a store, just not one that's 5,700 square feet.
store. Like Mr. Gary said, that's the size of the space that was available.
And I'm trying to get you to delineate what's going to be retail and what's not.
I would just like to offer more, but I can't really offer more if I'm limited on selling in a small space, you know? I could have a warehouse full of liquor, but if I'm only selling from here, I can only sell so much at one time.
Yeah.
Even 20% of New York wines, I can only sell so much from this podium.
Okay.
Well, we also, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that historically, at least in my 40 years of representing applicants, is that typically the authority was looking for the public convenience and advantage at different size stores in the community. The different size stores offer the public an advantage.
And we do have
in
some different
selection.
size ones right now. But this, to me, is a very large store for that community. And there are the closest stores, and I'm not even including Heller's in there, which I know is a big store, are 2,400, or 1,200 and 1,200 square feet. And then 2,400 and 2,000 of the other 2 Hellers.
4,000 feet, Your Honor, as I recall. I represent the landlord of the plaza.
And I don't see any population numbers that are indicating that the Rensselaer County is exploding in that area as well, and you haven't presented any. So
The population numbers, I think, are about the same, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, but what's happened is the employees...
take that with the sales numbers, take the population numbers with the sales numbers, and the fact that they are clearly, you'll acknowledge, and they've already acknowledged, are being hurt by the big store that we put in there. I mean, there is a convenience and advantage of putting a store here. I'm not putting a 5,700 square foot store here. So if you're not willing to go to the number I'm at, and I don't know where Commissioner Ford is, then I'm going to vote no.
Technically, probably with the storage, you're talking, storage is probably 1,200 square feet with bathrooms. You take out your cash and wrap area, you're probably down to 4,200 square feet, somewhere in there, in that ballpark.
All I'm going on is what you guys submitted, and it says 5,700 square feet.
Well, that's the overall square footage, but usable space or to the public or retail space,
So if you're at 4,200, I'm saying go to 25 and you're done.
that's cutting it in half. I mean,
Can I get a short break to discuss
Yep.
the matter with my
Chairman,
clients? Thank you. So,
Before that, one of the individuals is in opposition, wants to be heard again.
Well, they'll have a chance when he comes back. Okay, you can have a break.
thank
Yep.
you, Mr. Chairman.
You can call the next one.
The next item is in Albany, 02071. It's Ulster Spirits Incorporated.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Joe Ariel. I'm an attorney representing Maloney's Wine and Liquor. They are here.
Well, can we let the applicant introduce himself first?
Certainly, that would be my preference. Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Commissioner and Chairman. My name's Mitchell Siegel. I represent the applicant today, Ulster Spirits, Inc., applying for a liquor store license.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. So I'm Joe Ariel. I represent Maloney's Wine and Liquor. They are here today to protest this application. One of the owners of Maloney's is here, Elizabeth Werdick, and she would like to make a statement, and we're available for questions if you or the applicant have any.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Chairman.
Good
My
morning.
name's Elizabeth Wardick. I'm a principal of JPM Endeavors, which is the licensee of Maloney's Wine and Liquor. Maloney's is located less than 1,200 feet from the
I know,
proposed
I
location
got the email. I'll see what I can find.
Go ahead.
of Ulster Spirits. I'm one of 4 corporate owners of this family-owned and operated business, along with my husband and my mother and father-in-law. When we took over this store, our mission statement was to supply the people of Barclay Heights and the surrounding community with a wine and spirit experience that allowed them to shop close to home for the product they preferred at a fair price. We've expanded our inventory, lowered our prices, extended our hours, and in just a few short months, my brother-in-law, who manages the store, takes his first crack at the certified SOM exam. I can stand here and confidently say the people of our community's wine and spirits needs are better served than they have ever been. We are here today to protest the issuance of a permit for several reasons recognized by the law. 1, because the permit will not serve the public advantage and convenience. 2, because the applicant has made materially false and misleading statements in their application. And 3, because the applicant is a front for a former licensee and/or an unlicensed third party who've been found by this agency to have made materially false statements in an application and an investigation, and to have engaged in unlawful practices for which their license was canceled. Before I continue with my statement, I refer you to our written submissions dated June 14th and September 8th and 9th, and ask that all the statements and exhibits in those submissions be made a part of this record. I would also like to note that all the statements I'm making today are made on personal knowledge or from review of the application. With respect to public convenience and advantage, it is vitally important that this body recognize this tiny hamlet of Barclay Heights has never supported 2 liquor stores. The history is generally as follows. For at least 12 years, the only liquor store in Barclay Heights was at our present location and was only half the size of our present space, known as End Zone. 1 store in Barclay Heights. In 2009, our seller, San Patel, opened in the space the applicant wants to reopen. I'll call this location the Sunoco location. Within a year of both stores open, the store in our location, End Zone, was out of business because the market could not support both, leaving once again 1 store in Barclay Heights. In April 2013, our previous owner abandoned the location at Sunoco and moved into our location, making it larger. When we bought the business from him, he told us the reason he made the move was because he knew that if someone else moved into our space, the Sunoco space could not compete, being the size that it was, and he would be out of business. In October 2013, the Sunoco location was granted another license under Lockwinder Carr. By August 2014, the license and the Sunoco location business had been taken over by Mandeep Singh in a bogus business arrangement that this agency deemed unlawful in May of 2016. This transfer to Mandeep Singh was determined to be a front for the previous owner at the applicant's proposed location. In June 2016, their license was revoked by the SLA because of product sharing and making materially false statements in an investigation.
This is information we have. You're reading off of our documents. So we've read all of those as well. Is there anything, can you add anything that we don't have?
So I think I also provided to you that the geography of this market should also require denial, referring to Saugerties generally is misleading.
Store in existence before this one?
Although, as the proximity report in the application reveals,
Go ahead.
okay. If the application were approved, there would be 3 liquor stores within 1 mile radius and 4 within 3.5 miles.
Weren't there three, when you bought your store, wasn't this store open?
It was. It was,
So you-
but
Okay,
doesn't like to
I
speak
got
to
it.
that.
So you don't want it to reopen is essentially what you're saying?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons you do not have the gross sales. Generally in transfers, we do not receive the gross sales.
Okay. Is there anyone else up there, or do you have more?
I do have more.
Okay, go ahead.
So a closer understanding of the market of Saugerties, it consists of a town and village, and the village dividing the town geographically. So that results for the public consumer, there are really 3 distinct, very small markets in Saugerties. The market of West Saugerties is actually on the other side of the village, so with Barclay Heights and West Saugerties are part of the town geographically, they're like wings on the opposite side of the village. With this demographic information, it becomes very telling that West Saugerties has 1 liquor store, the village has 1 liquor store, and Barclay Heights, the smallest of the 3 communities, would have 2 if this application were approved.
Which it had before.
a short time.
for a short time, but I just explained the history of when one opened, one closed, when the other opened, the other closed. It kind of was a bounce back and forth.
Okay.
The law makes clear that in addition to considering the market, the proximity of the stores is a material factor. The proximity report states that the distance between our store and the applicant's location is 1,230 feet, but notes that the distances are GIS based and are not precise. And actually, we walked that distance with a tape measure, and it's just over 1,000 feet. And if you put both addresses into MapQuest, it actually registers as 0.0 miles. So to put it in better perspective, I can see their parking lot from the parking lot of ours.
I'm familiar with Saugerties.
Yep.
So for the foregoing reasons, I believe that the application could be denied. And if you find other compelling reasons that a determination should be written for the public convenience and advantage will not be served by an additional license in this area.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone else up there for this?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. My client did have some more that she'd like to put on the record. Is that
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, and it addresses some of the stuff that you've already alluded to that you have in front of you. It's stuff that we've foiled.
Yeah, no, and the reason I'm cutting you off is because you, as you pointed out, you've submitted several dozens of pages of documentation, all of which has been read by us, and we are quite familiar with it. The public doesn't have, the audience doesn't have a vote, so they don't need to hear it all again. And I'm just trying to save time.
If I may, that's fine, and we'll certainly sit down. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to just for purposes of this presentation, there's a lot of material, as you said, that's on the record here. One of the really key points, though, is that the business relationship that is reflected in the application is precisely the same relationship that resulted in the cancellation of this applicant's seller's license. And we do think it's very important you note that. And also, we would note that in question 7 of the application, the applicant indicates that she has no relationship with the prior licensee, which is simply a false statement. She was an employee there, which your record will reflect. And there's proof of that on the record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else up there, or just the one?
No further opposition.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning. As you know, this liquor store existed prior to the issuance of the other license, and was closed.
Well, let's get to the heart of the matter.
And was
She
closed.
didn't disclose on her application that she had worked there. Did she work there?
No, we sent in an affidavit. What she did was she was going to work there. She trained with that former owner, who she has no relationship with any of those principals whatsoever, for 3 or 4 days, and then never took the job, never worked, and had nothing to do with that.
So we had an interview with the owners, our investigators, and they indicated, the former owners indicated at one point that the person signing for the alcohol purchases had her first name.
Did you ever sign for an alcohol purchase? No. Untrue. And we sent an affidavit to that effect. She had nothing to do other than a potential employee learning the credit card machines for 4 days, of which 4 days of which the employment never commenced.
So can she explain? Can she explain the Facebook post that she was?
Are you Shannon Marie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have multiple Facebook posts, much more than 4 days worth of her advertising for the liquor store on her Facebook.
Can you explain that?
Indicating or alluding to the fact that she could come check out our Labor Day specials.
Okay. Did you advertise for them?
I never advertised.
You didn't put anything on I can show you. This isn't your Facebook page?
I didn't advertise for them.
Well, no,
I would just-
that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, I would put like the.
You would
different
put posts up, right?
stuff.
And it alluded to the fact it looks like you're affiliated with the store.
Not at all. No, I was there for 4 days, and each day was between 3 and 4 hours a day. But I couldn't take the position because my grandmother got really sick, and
Do you know the former owners?
I don't.
So how did you end up there?
I found out that they were selling it, so I went and inquired about it, and that was it. It was all pretty quick.
This previous license canceled on 6/7. When did the store actually close? Commissioner?
Oh, well, that was the date of the cancellation order was 6/7, so that should have been picked up that date.
All right.
In this application, even though there's a delay in intake, the check was received and deposited on 6/8,
Gotcha.
and our filing date was 6/16.
Okay, thank you. Why do you think you have a letter from an excuse me, an Ulster County legislator in opposition asking us to deny this?
Why do I think?
Yeah,
I
you have any
no
idea?
I have no idea why that letter would come to. I mean, the liquor store existed. It's next to a convenience store at a gas station.
Right.
It's servicing people that are stopping for gas. Again, this applicant has nothing to do with the prior owners.
Well, how many, I don't know that I'm being told the truth here, and that bothers me. How many other liquor stores did you do postings on your Facebook page for?
I actually have done a few.
Really? What are the other ones?
Well, not in the recent, but I had done.
Well, I mean, we have one from May 5th of 2015, when the other store was still open. We have one from September 25th of 2015. We have, you're all over social media with, like you're affiliated with this store when the store was going through probably one of the worst availings I've seen since I've been here. And you're telling me that you didn't sign for any of the alcohol purchases. You never worked there.
Never. No.
And you don't know any of these owners, but you decided to promote this liquor store.
I don't know any of them personally, no.
Did you know the manager?
Nope. None of them. There's only the one man there, and
Mr. Mallor's here, and I think, didn't he arrange the sale? Of the one that we closed, and then we...
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
just share.
Okay, do you have any questions, Commissioner?
Just
No.
posting the,
How are you going to, is the inventory still in the store, correct?
yes.
And you haven't purchased it?
No.
The inventory doesn't come with your promissory note, correct?
Correct.
So how are you going to purchase the inventory? Do you have the funds to purchase the inventory?
Possibly, yeah.
What do you mean possibly?
Well, the family, yeah.
You didn't put that on the application, though. You put that you're,
So is it the promissory
promissory?
note
Source
including?
of funds.
I read the promissory note, and it does not include the inventory.
But the purchase agreement does.
Yeah, I believe it does.
And in fact, it can't, because that product cannot legally be sold based on rulings of this board, of this body.
It can be sold on a liquidator's permit,
We do not have one on file.
and when we don't have one.
They applied for one and were denied. The previous licensee applied for one and was denied. That inventory cannot be sold. You are correct that it is not in the promissory note, although it should be because it's part of the purchase agreement, although it can't be because it would be illegal to sell it. And if she had to purchase it herself, she would never be able to afford this onerous transaction in the first place.
And that's what I'm trying to elaborate here.
I will correct myself, I didn't see it,
We
I
do
was
have a
looking for a
liquidator's
pending one, it
permit,
was
and the
disapproved.
price includes the inventory, and the promissory note goes with the contract.
Do you have any?
No, not at all.
Excuse me, if the board would like, my clients can refute on personal knowledge the applicant's testimony about her relationship and her employment status there, if you would like to hear it. For one thing, one of these owners of this previous store was tagged in these Facebook posts. The idea that she didn't have a relationship is absurd on its face. But in any event, my clients can testify on personal knowledge to
No, that's not necessary, thanks.
Thank you.
I mean, our investigator indicates, based on his interviews with the former owners, that she worked there for a year prior to the cancellation. During our investigation, the name Shannon was signed on alcohol deliveries during the year she worked there. Was there another Shannon you're aware of that worked there?
I didn't know of anyone that worked there. I didn't know the people.
Did you
No.
sign any? Did you
I
sign
mean,
never
the
signed
evidence would
anything.
indicate otherwise, so I'm on character and fitness grounds, I vote to deny.
I vote to deny as well. There's just too much about this that I just,
And if, you know, the bigger problem is what went on here before, and you worked for them. And I don't, you know, I find it unbelievable that you'd be promoting a liquor store on your Facebook page for over a year and tell me that you didn't work there.
I didn't work there.
And have your first name on alcohol deliveries. So, and not to mention several witnesses that are apparently 1,200 feet away from you that will tell me that you worked there. So,
I did not work there.
I vote to deny.
I vote to deny as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gary, are you ready to come back up?
Secretary.
Oops.
Mr. Chairman, we had an opportunity to discuss the board's points with our clients, and they are amenable to limiting the size of the store to 2,500 feet and 20% New York State SKUs. They will be submitting a amended floor plan in accord with that decision.
Okay, so,
in the-
well, we haven't voted yet, but let me hear from, she wanted to say one last thing. Go ahead.
I did. It was just my understanding that earlier this year, you did not approve another liquor store that applied within 3 miles of this proposed one.
That may be correct, is it?
It is. It was further down on Route 4, closer down to on the intersection of 9 and 20.
And I recall that
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 was
was not in a, and that was not in a plaza such as this. That was a
No,
new
it was-
building.
New building.
Yeah.
A standalone building, yes.
Yes. So, under those terms, are you,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
so why don't you go ahead?
I would vote to approve based on you limiting your retail space to 2,500 and 20% New York State product.
I'll vote to approve as well. I think there is a public convenience and advantage based on the fact that there is a Price Chopper, or whatever the new store is called, and it's in a plaza within the city of Troy. They have agreed to decrease the retail size to 2,500 square feet, and devote 20% of their SKUs to New York products. So I'll vote to approve on those grounds. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to Buffalo now. This is item 02028, Creative Liquor and Wine.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner. My name's Chester McKenna. I'm the consultant that handled the liquor license application for the applicant Abdul Harana. Did you wanted to find out if there's anybody contesting this with the protest?
Sure, they'd be probably with you. I don't think they'd be here. Is there anybody in your room?
There's no one present
Okay.
in opposition.
Okay, then we are here to answer any questions you have concerning this liquor license application. It's a small liquor store, approximately 1,200 square feet. It's off of Pine Avenue where the other liquor stores are located. And it's going to be a small corner liquor store just for the neighborhood in that area. As you know, Niagara Falls has over 1 million people that come as tourists to that location. And I myself is doing liquor license applications for 3 or 4 hotels that are expanding in the Niagara Falls area. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions you have, sir.
Well, I see his brother owns a store.
Yes, he does.
How close is that?
That's, his store is about 4,000 feet away.
What's the name of it?
Cameron?
So he's the second closest.
Second closest, yes.
Yes, sir.
And his sister applied for this location and withdrew the application?
Yes, I guess there was a problem, the board had a problem that they had to answer a couple questions or rescind the application. And do you know more about it? Anything about it?
No, she says she's not interested.
She's no longer interested in opening up that liquor store. She don't want anything more to do with opening up a liquor store. So that's why the brother now wants to open up a liquor store in that area, as he lives close to that liquor store.
It says that it's not within 200 feet of a school or church, but I saw Christ Redeemer Tabernacle on the next corner. Is that true? I should say not on the next corner, on the corner.
Well, the New York State Liquor Authority website says no schools or churches within 500 feet. Let me look at the diagram. I personally did not do this application, one of my employees did.
Let me look at it again.
Oh, here it is, yes. But by this, it's 300 feet away. It's at 339 72nd Street in Niagara Falls, Christ Redemption Church.
Yeah, 22nd Street, yes. See, Vince, I don't think that's up to date. I think it's probably the church right there, so.
How accurate is our,
Well, they reported the 300.
oh, we went out?
No, I don't believe we went out. When they report 300, I believe it's less. It's more of a policy that we go out and double check.
Oh, but they're reported at 300.
They reported 300
Okay.
feet, yeah.
All right.
What's the population in this area? Has it gone up, down? You don't really present
Niagara
anything.
Falls is approximately 50,000 people. I know when I was a child and lived in Niagara Falls, it was 100,000, but it's basically been about 50,000 for a long time now in the Niagara Falls area,
So there's been no real increase?
or decrease.
Okay. Does your client own the building?
No, he doesn't. He's leasing.
What's he going to do about, to combat underage sales?
Well, as I worked for the Liquor Authority many, many years, I'm advising my client to get a machine to check all people that enter the premises, and he's told me that he's going to do that. He'll be the manager and owner.
And I'm sure since you work for the Liquor Authority, you've advised him that if he was to start buying product along with his brother, if he was to get this license, it would be very problematic for both of them?
I'd be the first to report that to the Liquor Authority, sir. I believe nobody
I
should
bet.
be doing that.
All right.
All right. Based on the fact that it looks like at 1,280 square feet, it's going to be the smallest store around, I think it serves the public need and convenience, and I'm going to vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well. It's a small store. The surrounding store sales are either flat or increasing. His brother is the second closest store, and notably is not here in opposition.
Not now, anyway.
So given the size of the store and the sales numbers, I'll vote to approve as well. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item in Buffalo is 02029, Canal Side Wine and Spirits Incorporated.
Good morning, Commissioner, Chairman Kim, Attorney Sean McKenzie appearing with Canal Side Principals Eva Christ and John Black.
You look alike.
Good morning. Is there any opposition there?
Significant, sir.
Yeah, why don't we let them go first?
Step up to the podium if you'd like to speak in opposition of the application that's before the board. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Larry Clark. I own Tonawanda Wine and Liquor on Broad Street in the city of Tonawanda. This proposed location is 3/10 of a mile from my store. I have to be very honest here. This is the third time we've been here in regards to 14 Webster Street. We were here for a hearing in February where it was denied. We were here on an appeal of that in April where it was denied as well. One of the issues on that came up was the Oliver Street. There was a license to Oliver Street. Everybody, I'm sure, is well aware at this point that the decision that you folks made on the 26th to deny these folks was based on Oliver Street not open. It was pretty clear that you guys had stated that. So I'm a little uneasy not knowing why we're back for the third time in 7 months.
Well, I'll tell you. I have absolutely no control or desire to have control over who applies for liquor licenses and where.
Okay.
So that's why you're back.
Okay. Didn't know that after an appeal that was denied, you could do it again. So that's that. Going back to everything that's happened basically on this, Commissioner Kim was obviously involved too with the decision. What it basically boiled down to was the amount of square footage of retail space in this area. There was found to be just an adequate amount of space available. There was no added convenience for customers if another store were to open. A year ago, August, Isleview Fine Wine and Spirits opened about less than a mile and a half from my location. They just completed their first year in August.
What was the name of that store?
Isleview.
Okay, I got it.
They opened a year ago, just finished their year. I know since they've opened, my sales have basically decreased, not remained flat, have decreased from that point. I know with the proximity of the Webster Street location, Canal Side, that trend will stay. We don't have a huge population in that area. I take care of, a lot of my customers are people that walk or bike. So basically, I think we're trying to service those folks as is right now. I don't know if any other store that close to me would be a convenience to the customers. I can't speak from the other stores, but I still under the understanding or impression that a lot of the 4 stores that are close to this location are also either flat sales or decreasing. Because of all that, I'd still hope that we could deny this license for the third time based on the facts that really haven't changed at all. Again, we were here 4 full months ago, so that's all we had basically to go by from the last decision. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Tom Correo. I'm with Isleview Fine Wines and Spirits over at 533 Niagara Street in the city of Tonawanda. Both myself and my business partner, Jim Atkinson, oppose the proposed applicant's opening of site at 14 Webster Street. For all the reasons stated the previous 2 times, we are just completed our first year, and as you can see by our numbers, they are far from even impressive. We're still trying to grow our business in the area. They are 0.3 miles away from Tonawanda Liquors and 1.2 miles away from us. And there's 2 other stores in the city of North Tonawanda that are within 2.5 miles of them. And I think with all these other store members will tell you their numbers are either flat or decreasing. Again, there's probably almost 15,000 square footage of retail space within the 4 or 5 closest stores within 2.5 miles. And I don't see the approval of another store being any public convenience and advantage in the area. So I ask that you please deny this application for a third time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is David Lasace. I own Midnight Wine and Spirits. I protested this location twice before. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend the hearing. However, I don't want to repeat what others have already mentioned.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just leave it as that, you know, the public is already being met with the convenience and competitiveness that we already have. There's 4 stores in 2.5 mile radius of this proposed location. I don't see any change in decision unless they end up purchasing one of the closest 4 stores. I don't see any reason why they would be allowed a license there. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's it? Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'd like to address something that the gentleman who owns Midnight Spirits just raised. If they wanted a license, they should have purchased another store. That is, in essence, what they've done here. Frank's Liquors was open at the same proposed premises from 1934 to 2014. For 80 years. It was open during which the time the other individuals, the other closest stores, except Isleview, had all been open during that time period. Ms. Christ and Mr. Black purchased the building from the owner of Frank's Liquors when he decided to close and retire, and have sought a license for the premises. In the denial,
They waited 2 years, and in that meantime, another one was granted.
well, actually, sir, 2 were granted, and 1 didn't open. That was Oliver Street Liquors, which I believe, coincidentally enough, was also owned by, applied for by Mr. Haruna, who was just in. However, it was stated as a basis for denial that Oliver Street had been granted conditional approval and was going to open. That has not come to pass, and that is why Ms. Christ and Mr. Black retained me to submit this application. It was stated that with the new store opening, another new license was not necessary. That store did not open and is not opening. So that was, at that point, we resubmitted the application. I also won't reiterate all the information and our position is set forth in my papers, as I'm sure they've been reviewed. However, one thing I don't believe that I made clear was that the premises, although 3,000 square feet because it has a large basement that they intend to use for storage, the actual retail floor space is only 1,000 feet, okay, which is fitting right in with the proposed method of operation which they're seeking to do. It's to be called Canal Side because it is directly on the canal in downtown North Tonawanda. Now, Tonawanda Liquors is approximately 0.3 miles. It's on the other side of the canal over across a bridge. In downtown North Tonawanda, as was set forth in the letters of support from the North Tonawanda City Mayor, City Assessor, the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce of the Tonawandas, not just North Tonawanda, and the Director of the North Tonawanda Downtown Merchants Association. There are at least 10 free downtown concerts held within Kitty Corner, that's from a park on the North Tonawanda side of the creek. There are car shows, boat shows, there's Winter Walk, there's Canal Fest, there are the Sunday Taste of the Tonawandas, street dances, pizza festivals. They're really doing much is being done in Buffalo and other areas that have waterfront. They are using the waterfront to draw people in, to hold public free events, and that is increasing the consumer flow into the area. Canal Side also intends to offer services that are not being offered by the local retailers. Namely, they do intend to do internet sales, first intrastate, but they will look to expand to over state lines for those states for which it's approved in due course. They also intend, there are also boat docks, which are directly across the street from the proposed premises in the canal, or in Tonawanda Creek, excuse me. And they intend to do delivery service to those docks and to the marina. So that, along with focusing on local wineries, New York State wineries, looking into doing bus tours to local wineries originating at Canal Side and touring the local wineries. A lot of small batch distilleries are starting to pop up in the area, and it's become a mechanism for economic growth in the area. Canal Side sees the consumer benefit and exposing those individuals that patronize the downtown area of North Tonawanda, which, as the individual from Tonawanda Spirits pointed out, it is a walkable area, and it is an area in which there's a lot of pedestrian, bike traffic, so on and so forth, for the people that live in this urban area. Therefore, having another location, although yes, it's within a half mile, it's small. We're talking 1,000 feet. And we're also talking about promoting local products, and we're talking about the consumers being benefited from having access to a point of sale from where all these public events are being held in the direct vicinity, rather than having to walk a half mile or bike a half mile. Commissioner and Chairman, I would submit to you respectfully that given the fact that this location has been licensed for, 80 out of the last 82 years, that one of the cited basis for denial was the issuance of the Oliver Street license, which is no longer consideration. I would point out that one letter that was received in opposition from Yankee Spirits, the owner, Gary Brennan, indicated that his sales have increased approximately 17% over the last 3 years. He is also more than doubled the size of his store approximately 3 years ago, and that's from his letter. So based upon all the foregoing, and certainly willing to answer any questions you might have, we submit that the granting of this application would be in the public benefit and serve the public convenience. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I mean, you're aware also that we denied an application in April that was also 1.8 miles away from here, but would fall within the 4 closest stores here? Not just this location,
Yes,
another
yes,
location.
I was aware, sir. Yes, I was aware of that. Budways, yes. But I think, just to reiterate, Mr. Black and Ms. Crisp, they own this building. It is a community pillar. It's been a liquor store for 80 out of the last 82 years. And these other stores, with the exception of Isleview, have all managed to coexist peacefully, and in fact, Yankee Spirits has managed to thrive, doubling its size and increasing its sales.
Which is the 4th closest. No,
Correct, sir.
I'm sorry, the 5th closest.
Right. The closest is across the canal, though.
That is correct, sir. In a different city, in a different county, but it is the closest.
I don't.
Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chairman, Commissioner Ford, opposition would like to speak again?
Well, okay, not all of them. As has been pointed out, this is the 3rd time I've heard about this, so I don't really need to hear them
Yeah,
again.
the only thing I want to do, sir, is just clarify what this gentleman just said behind us. There is many, in the city of Tonawanda and North Tonawanda, there's all kinds of events, and there are as many events on the Tonawanda side that he just mentioned, the Canal Fest and everything else. Majority of them still are on the Tonawanda side. Some are on the North Tonawanda side as well. So it is one tight area. And as far as Yankee Spirit is concerned, I know you guys probably remember with the Budways deal, Mr. Brennan was on record basically saying that he was having difficulty paying his rent. And I know that was on record as of April 26th. Thank you.
Thanks. Any questions?
No?
Okay.
Prepared to vote?
Yep.
All right. Based on the fact that it's going to be the smallest store in the area at, 1,000 square feet? Is that what it was?
That is correct.
Yeah. You have the support from the mayor, CESA, Chamber, downtown merchants, so forth and so on. I'm going to vote to approve.
I'm going to vote to deny. There's 16,000 square foot of liquor store retail space within 2.3 miles, and I think within 7 miles, I'm sorry, there's 7 stores within 3 miles and 5 stores within 2.5 miles. considered this location previously. The only thing that has changed is that application that was granted conditionally is what has been withdrawn, but based on the sales numbers, based on the square footage of liquor stores within under 2.5 miles, I just don't see the need for public convenience and advantage at this time, so I'm going to vote to deny. Thank you.
Have it.
The next item in Buffalo is 02030, Free Lane Liquors, Inc.
Say the number again, Tom?
02030.
Excuse me, sir. Pardon me.
Go ahead.
Good morning. Please, the commissioners, my name is Richard G. Berger. I'm an attorney in Buffalo, New York, and I will be representing Free Lane Liquors and the applicant, Guy Mesvin, in this application.
Are there any protests there?
There's no protest present.
Okay.
If I may
Yes, continue if you have.
proceed. From the diagrams and descriptions, you can see that there's less than 2,000 square feet. This is of commercial space that will be used for sales of the products at 1420 Main Street. This is a building that is presently undergoing a renewal based upon this lease, and is a part of an area of Buffalo that is currently under tremendous renewal and revitalization. Main Street in Buffalo, and you may or may not be aware of this, all of our medical facilities are relocating less than a half a mile away. The medical school, Children's Hospital is locating to Main Street and High, and there's been tremendous expansion of Buffalo General Hospital, the Vascular Center, Roswell Park Memorial Cancer Center, all of these. That has created a huge pressure on development of Main Street itself. And these old properties that were abandoned with, some had commercial first story and nothing on the second stories, are all being renovated for apartments for the people who are and will be working at the Medical Center of Buffalo. So Main Street, all up and down Main Street, is being renovated, and there is a distinct advantage and public convenience for having this small liquor store, which will be probably, I don't know if it's the closest one to the medical center, but probably is. I know there's one further down Main Street towards the downtown. But for the employees to be able after work to pick up a bottle of wine in order to take home, and they have to live near the facility because there's not enough parking in the medical center for everyone to get to work. So they have to take the subway, they have to live close to the medical center. That's one of the main reasons why, even though there are other liquor stores within a little bit more than a half a mile. I think the closest one is 3,885 feet away on Delaware Avenue. There's really nothing less than a half a mile away. And there is a distinct public advantage and convenience for this store. Mr. Mesvin has been working as an employee at Black Rock Wine and Spirits, Inc., which is known as Winspear Liquors on Main Street, further near University of Buffalo, so he's familiar with the operation. He has the capital to do this small store, and it really will not be of any financial detriment to the other businesses in town.
Who owns Winspear Liquors?
Mr. Michael Gebra?
Not a relative?
No, just a friend.
Is there any parking at this store?
Yes, there is. There's, I think, on the side of the building, there's 10 spaces. And there's parking along Main Street. But we expect that most of the traffic will be people who are taking the subway and walking.
You're about 10 or 11 blocks from GVI and Buffalo General, and I have been out there quite a bit recently, and I do know that they've built, or in the process of building a couple buildings there. Conventus, I think that's the name of one of the buildings.
Yes.
And there's another one. So the medical center is undoubtedly absolutely exploding there. But that's like 10, 11, 12 blocks away. You think you'd be getting foot traffic from folks that far away?
Well, because...
Not in February.
No, not in February.
The people who work there can't drive there. They'd have to. There's no parking available on the medical campus or near it.
There's a parking garage. There's a parking garage there,
Yes,
right across the
but
street from GVI.
Very small. They'd have to build a 50-story parking lot to accommodate all the cars. So they're relying upon public transportation, principally the subway line that goes up and down Main Street, and that's driving the expansion and development of really historic restoration housing all along Main Street. It's a very, very healthy sign for Buffalo, and we believe that type of development is going to be continuing strongly over the next few years as the University of Buffalo Medical School is completed, the new Children's Hospital is completed, as I said, and all of this is completed in the next few years.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Has he been in the other liquor stores, the four closest? What are you doing differently than they're doing, other than the fact that you're close, or you believe you're close to a hospital?
Are you doing anything? You understand the question?
Yeah, we include La more New York State wines.
Mr. Messman says his intention is to include more of the New York State wine products.
Has he picked any of those out yet?
Have you picked any varieties that you like?
New York wines, like Niagara Landing wines.
Which one?
Niagara Landing.
Niagara Landing wines and. What? Well, tell the board.
The Glonora wine is Niagara Landing, Niagara Lakes, those New York State wines, and like the Hazelwood wine is some other local wines.
These are all Niagara Frontier wines.
Okay.
That Mr. Messman has identified.
So, sir, you've been a sales clerk since 2012, full-time?
Yes,
at
sir.
Black Rock?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. You ready to go with this?
Yep.
Based on the fact that that area is really growing, as has been stated by the applicant, there still are 5 stores within, relatively close proximity. So my concern is the size of the store at 3,500 feet. It kind of dwarfs all the others. How much is that going to be retail? I wanted to ask you that.
I looked at the drawing that's in there and made a rough calculation, and it appeared to me that as far as that there's approximately 2,000 square feet in the in this drawing of space where the products will be displayed. A little bit less than that, given that there's a stairwell and an entranceway, but a little bit less than 2,000 square feet.
All right. All right. I would vote to approve based on it not being any more than 2,000 square feet.
We'll assure that, yeah.
I'm a vote to deny. We just issued a license in February of 2015. That's 1.1 miles away. There's 5 stores within 1.2 miles away that make up about almost 19,000 square feet of liquor store. And I know that store called Queen City has recently been opened, or within the last couple of years, in a Wegmans Plaza. And you are seeing the effects of those 2 new stores in the area, because the second closest store, Gates Circle Liquor Store, has shown a decrease in sales between 2014 and 2015 of $1 million. The closest store has also shown a significant decrease in sales, and the 5th closest store also a decrease in sales. So I don't see public convenience and advantage to adding another one in this area at this time, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Thank you.
We have one more item in Buffalo. That's 02027, Royal Ox Food and Catering Incorporated.
State your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Reggie Wiggins, owner of Royal Ox Food and Catering, Inc.
Can you explain to me what happened to the previous license? Because you were involved in it, right?
No, sir. The previous owners, to my knowledge, decided to throw in the towel. They've been doing it for many years, and I was previously leasing out the kitchen side of the building.
Yeah, we canceled the liquor license for that reason. But what were you doing? I couldn't understand what you were doing with the kitchen. You rented out the kitchen to do what?
Serving food. I do takeout and I do catering.
And who was using the other side? They were?
Yes, that was their side of the building.
And did they have a kitchen, or they were just running it as a bar?
No, just as a bar.
Okay. And all the stuff you did in renting out the kitchen was just takeout food? You weren't serving alcohol or anything like that?
No, sir.
So now you're leasing the entire space?
Yes, both sides, the kitchen side and the bar side.
And doing the same thing before, but now you want to serve alcohol?
Correct. We have a seating area, and then you can take out, you can sit in. We have TVs. We did some renovations to the kitchen side. I actually had appraisal guy come in and talks with the owner of possibly selling the building.
To you?
Yes,
okay.
Me and my wife, yes.
How many seats do you have in this place?
The occupancy sign is 80 persons.
All right. And you're open now without the license? As far as just serving food and soft drinks?
Yes, I have a temporary license. I was granted a temporary license on 6/28.
Okay. We haven't had any issues, have we?
And since 6/28, I've did about 3 orders from the Empire Merchants Liquor. No problems. I've been there for a year on the kitchen side so far. I keep the loiterers away. No problems. No police calls. And I'm looking to change the neighborhood in a better way, because I know that location wasn't my first primary choice, but since I've been there, things have turned around.
All right.
I'm ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Well, you've got a temporary license, been functioning with no problem for a couple of months here. Been there for a while. I vote to approve it.
I'll vote to approve as well. No live music, no DJs, no promoters. We're going to need you to get tips or ATAP training for yourself and your employees.
Okay.
And that's, under those stipulations, I'll approve.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that's the last item in Buffalo. The first item here in New York is 02031. Here We Go Liquors Incorporated.
Good morning, everyone. Robert Romano. I'm here with Henry Kim, the principal, and his son Elliot. If there's opposition?
Yes.
please.
Good morning, Robert Swednick for the opposition. I guess two things preliminarily. There was quite a bit of opposition submitted when they applied to relocate to 772 Amsterdam. Everyone was here. We found out the morning of that hearing that the application was withdrawn, and then it was resubmitted with the 726 Amsterdam, and the local stores were not notified. That was coming up today. Some of the people are here because I notified them myself.
How'd you find out?
I found out through the secretary's office, because I've been corresponding with them.
Did we not notify? Was there anybody not here that you think would want to be here?
Yeah, you have opposition letters, I know, from Cork and Barrel, and I believe one of the other ones, when it was at 772.
Those wouldn't carry over, not necessarily as far as what.
Cork and Barrel's still the second closest. So.
Closest,
Third.
but-
You got a letter to be here.
Yeah,
Okay.
they applied on this application.
All right. Well, we sent letters out.
Okay,
Well, the SAB was sent a letter.
And they obviously got the letters from the previous application, so I'm assuming their address that we have is good, so.
No, but you sent letters telling them of the other hearing and
No, we
asking.
sent, Tom, we sent of this hearing, right?
Today's date, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so they can tell you they never got them, but
I am here only.
Three of them are here.
They notified me yesterday. I never, I've.
Where are you from?
Columbus Avenue Wines and Spirits.
They get a letter?
I did not get any letter about today's hearing.
Yes, it was, they were all emailed on the 31st.
No.
Pretty on it.
And
But that's the
Diane
way we
Sari-
generally do it, so.
Well,
All right, well, they're here now. Go ahead.
Also, you have this as a removal. However, it's been in safekeeping apparently for over 4 years. So how that's come about, I don't know. Since it was. put
Well,
into-
I'll tell you how it came about. I think I myself recognize the difficulty in removing a store in the vicinity in Manhattan, because it's extremely difficult, as we all know, because you can see the number of denials that come off of this board from Manhattan. So I think as a result of that, we have been patient.
Okay, I thought it was a 6-month period, but if it's 4 years.
That's generally what it is, but we have been patient in these
Well,
cases.
All right, but since the time it was placed into safekeeping, there have been, of the closest stores, there have been 3 transactions. One of them as recently as 1 year ago, which is Columbus Avenue Spirits. And there was also Cork and Barrel and Grape Collective. So therefore, you have new people, new owners with very, very large investments, and none of them have had the opportunity to try to collect back on their investments or build their stores. So this really, in my mind, looks like it's a new store coming in because we have people who are, I'll say, innocent, did not know what the market was, did not know that there was, quote, a removal, and shouldn't have known since it was in there for 4 years. So they made.
Well, the stores you're mentioning, I don't see, are they new licensees in the last 4 years? Because our records are not indicating.
When were you here? You can come up.
When did you, yeah, but you still have to get a license. When did you buy it?
Last June. I assume the existing corporation, and it's the same license, but
Okay.
I'm the new owner.
Okay.
And the
All
other
right, go
two
ahead.
were 2014. So you have people who have had significant investments in the immediate area, trying basically to earn back that money that they've invested, significant money. The sales here have been either dropping or, I'll say, minuscule increases or flat, but yet the expenses, as you know, especially in Manhattan, are going up. So the profit of all these stores is going down each year, as reflected in the sales reports that you have. I think you have 2 or 3 of the owners who would like to speak. Come on. Come on.
Hi, I guess I'm first. My name is Gary Wartels. I'm the new owner of Columbus Avenue Wines and Spirits. I assumed the store approximately June 2015. As I just mentioned, I did take over the existing license and corporate entity. So I guess technically it was a transfer. I do have a statement, and then, would just like to add a few things. I'm basically following up on my gross sales letter of 5/24/2016, and then an additional letter that I included opposing the relocation of Here We Go Liquors, which I guess was originally to be located at 772 Amsterdam Avenue. Then I learned that it was moving. That application had been withdrawn, and it was moving to 726 Amsterdam. I am one of the closest stores. I'm at Columbus Avenue between 95th and 96th. This is going to be at Amsterdam between 95th and 96th. I'm seeing, actually, they're already doing construction in the site. I have a photo of the construction that is going on, which to me seems a little bit premature that you would already start work on something when an application has not been approved, at least at the second location.
Can we stick to the relevant?
Yeah, I purchased the store, as I said, last June, and I've invested well over $1.5 million in new debt. My monthly debt payments right now are about $20,000, not including rent, which did go up this year. And as a result, the commercial rent tax in New York City, which I am subject to because I'm south of 96th Street, Whole Foods, which is just 1 block north of 96th Street, far larger stores, not subject to the commercial rent tax. I am paying an additional $12,000 a year now in the New York City commercial rent tax because of the increase that the threshold is about $250,000 is what my accountant told me. So I am now paying the commercial rent tax. So my debt is heavy. My expenses are heavy. I just had to replace an AC system for $25,000. The new thermostat was put in yesterday. I'm hoping it's working this week. This is ownership. All I'm saying is that things are, it's very challenging. In addition, it has become an incredibly competitive market on the Upper West Side. There's a store, a very small store on 88th, between 88th and 89th, on Broadway. I live in the neighborhood. They're literally, here's a flyer from 2 weeks ago. They're selling things at $1 over cost. They're walking up and down the neighborhood, handing these things out. In addition, every store now in the last year is doing free delivery. You have Mini Bar that has, which I'm a part of, but so are many other stores, but they're doing all sorts of promotion. So I just don't really see how an additional store in this neighborhood where you have Whole Foods, you have me, you have Gotham Wines, you have this little store. There's another store on 90th and Broadway. You have a store on Columbus. You have 2 on Columbus and 80. I'm at 96th. They're at 94th. All doing free delivery. I just don't see how another store whose license has been in suspension for 4 years will serve the public advantage or convenience of this neighborhood. I really don't. And I just implore the commission and the commission to please, take these new circumstances into account. I mean, I do have significant debt that I have taken on, and I'm working many hours, probably 60 hours, 50 to 60 hours a week to make a go of this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Try not to tell me how bad the liquor industry is in West Side. No, I'm talking to the next guy. I got the picture.
I was just going to say, I want this license granted. I need more competition. I truthfully think I'm...
No, I believe you. I just don't need to hear it over and over again.
Charles Serra, representing Diane Serra, Gotham Wines. My personal opinion is I think the market, if you just walk up and down the street, you'll see the area is tremendously oversaturated with stores, be it small mom and pop stores, larger stores as Whole Foods. But I think there is no actual need for another store because I don't think the public convenience could be served any more readily than it is at this moment. Our sales are down, our competition is strong, and...
You're actually the only one in the area whose sales are down, by the way. So you can say that to me.
I might be the only honest store in the area. But those are my feelings. I feel the market is tremendously oversaturated.
Okay, thank you.
As I said, if you just walk up and down the neighborhood or the areas, there are probably more liquor stores than Starbucks. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And 100th Street is here also, but doesn't want to speak.
Doesn't want to speak? Okay. Which, 100th Street, okay. Okay, Mr. Kim?
Hello again, everyone. Robert Romano. I'm here with Henry Kim and his son Elliot.
So they bring up a good point. Have they been in safekeeping for 4?
They have, and I will explain why. And it's
well, why do we only have it up from 2015 in safekeeping?
That's the last hold. They had to take the holds off to renew the license.
Okay.
And the reason is Mr. Kim was he was forced to leave his old location. They renovated, they knocked down the building, I believe, or they redid the whole building. And since then, he's looked to find a location that would be as least offensive to the other stores and serve the community. He wanted his old store back, and he couldn't get it, obviously. He has since, there have been 3 different occasions where he's found a store, or 2 occasions where he's found a store, proceeded to do a lease, start the project, apply to this authority, and then had to remove it himself once because I believe you can clarify on that, you had issues with the landlord on the first time? Was that?
So there was one application.
You can speak to that.
There was one application that was actually approved at 733 Amsterdam, and that was essentially my father's old location, and he was trying to get back into the space. But they're still undergoing the same renovation, and they kept dragging us along and saying it's another 6 months, another year, and it's still not complete and they're still not ready. And that's why my father has had to look for other spaces. He has actually put in applications elsewhere, and even with the application for 772, he put in the application before this space at 726 had opened up. When he saw the space at 726 open up, for the matter of public convenience and advantage, rather than moving closer to one of the smaller stores, he wanted to stay closer to his old location.
Okay.
And I have to point out, as far as public convenience and advantage, having grown up on the Upper West Side, I could tell you, when I was in my 20s and 30s, there was a mental block between walking avenue to avenue. And so you have Central Park West. That would mean the residents of Central Park West would have to go 2 avenue blocks in order to get to a liquor store, which is fine for many people, but you have a lot of senior citizens or those disabled that can't make it. You have no stores for approximately 20 blocks going south on Amsterdam Avenue and 10 blocks going north on the avenue. So this really does fill a void. And it is a removal. Granted, you look at it the same as a new store, but I believe there is a real need for a new store. I believe Mr. Kim wants to give a statement. Did you?
Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, and members of the board. It is my honor to meet you all in person. I am Henry Kim, president of Here We Go Liquors, Inc., of which license removal application is pending. I don't see any reasonable ground of the protester. I would like to approach to this issue in two phases to prove that they do not have reasonable ground to protest. First, history of Here We Go Liquors, Inc. I took it over from previous owner in 1985, 31 years ago, which is located at 737 Amsterdam Avenue, around the corner of West 96th Street. The previous owner bought Roma Wine and Spirits in 1981, that was 35 years ago, and formed new corporation, Here We Go Liquors, Inc., and took over Roma Wine and Spirits as the trade name. The original Roma Wine and Spirits has been established on the other side of Street Amsterdam many, many years ago, and removed to 737 Amsterdam Avenue of Exton Building in about 1977, as soon as the construction had been completed. So we have been there in this location for more than half a century. We lost lease, unfortunately, in August 2012 due to the large space for renovation Exton Building. Since then, we had been looking for new location for more than 4 years. Second, location and distance. This proposed location, 726 Amsterdam Avenue, is away more than 50 yards. That means 150 feet to southwest from original location, 737 Amsterdam Avenue. This makes us further away from Columbus Wine and Cork and Barrel. We are moving 50 yards in same block. In conclusion, I am proud of our success in past business with the following particular merchandising. We had a broad selection of organic wines and a big selection of New York State wine and kosher wines. We will focus in developing more wines, more wine selection to improve our business. We had been carrying large selection of high-end single malt Scotch and bourbon whiskey. Lastly, we are also proud of zero violation in 31 years business history. Once again, I do not see any reasonable ground of their protest. Please grant our license removal application in order to serve community as usual as before. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll go after. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just, first on my sales, the previous sales history I got, in all actuality, was pieced together from the previous owner. My current year, right now, I am actually flat to down. This will be, as of the 31st, I will have my sales figures. Again, I reiterate that the neighborhood, I think, has changed substantially in 4 years. And I took on the purchase of Columbus Avenue.
You're telling me your sales as of 6/30 are, what you reported is 2.019 million. And we're halfway through the year. Last year, your entire sales were 3.3. We can acknowledge that your busiest season is not even here yet.
I'm sorry, for let me look.
I mean, maybe you've
I'm
reported
not-
wrong, but we're halfway through the year, and you're already 2/3 of the way to where you were last year.
No, I reported gross sales for 2015 was 3.3. And actually, I'll be honest, I included sales tax in that figure, but.
So you're down 8%, 10%.
Yeah, right now I'm roughly down.
No, I mean off of that number, which still brings you to where you
Yeah.
were in 2015.
Well,
I don't know what you were in June,
No,
but your busiest time is November, December.
My current sales as of August, I did not bring my day report, but for August
I get it.
was about 1.4, somewhere in there. I have to rerun it.
No, the number he has is January 1st to June 30th of 2016.
No, I have 25. I'm just going off the gross sales letter that I submitted.
Can I see your gross sales letter?
My gross sales for 2015 were 3.3.
Right, that's what's here.
Right, but where did we get the
2.019
million?
for 2016.
What, where?
We have for 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry, the January to June.
Yeah.
You wrote it. That's what we received, the gross sales.
Okay, well, go on to your next point.
That did include sales tax, so that was
Okay.
one. But right now, yeah, I'm about 1 point. I have to look at August, but I was at about 1.8. So, my only other point is that the landscape has significantly changed, and I did invest, quite a bit of money. I do think that I specialize in kosher wine. It's the reason I actually bought Columbus, because I know it's an area that I specialize in. I can say the same, single malts, et cetera. I'm doing all of that. New York
Okay.
State wines, I'm
got it.
doing all of that. And this is just literally, one block avenue over. And I walk by there every day. I live on the Upper West Side, raised on the Upper West Side.
So you were aware that there was a liquor store there when you bought your current liquor store?
I
Even though it wasn't
I
open.
certainly know, I knew Roma was there, absolutely, but it wasn't there. It was shut down. It shut down over 4 years ago.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
you have the store in Riverdale?
What?
Didn't you have the store in Riverdale?
Yes, yeah. So it shut down, over 4 years ago. So I
Thank you.
Thank you. Have there been any other stores that have opened since
No,
the
we
license
don't.
was shut down?
It would still show up in a proximity report.
Yes.
4 years.
You want to say something?
That was my point.
All of these have been.
I just wanted to say, we all understand the stresses of running a business. My father took a financial hit when he left the space at 772 and opened a new lease at 726, but he took that financial hit partly for business reasons, but also for, he believed it was for the better public advantage, that location. And also, my father's been, it's been difficult financially for the last 4 years because he's been out of business.
I'm sure.
And he's been working very diligently to try to set up a space back in his original location.
Okay.
And one other point, my father, he actually lives in the neighborhood. He actually lives on the same block. He's been a pillar of that community for a while. Just walking down the blocks, there's always neighbors coming by. Oh, Henry, he's like, when are you opening up again? And they're waiting for him to open up. Just wanted to make that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Has been paying his license fees for the last 4 years as well.
Clearly.
Well, he wouldn't have the license if he didn't.
Right, no, I'm just, he's taken a considerable financial hit. I think everybody can appreciate that.
Okay, you ready?
Asking about Kia Fork and Borough. 2014, so these sales are from the prior licensee. So that's why the big change there.
Thank you. And may I just quickly, this, okay,
You, whenever you're ready,
all right.
unless you have more questions.
I'm willing to, only for the reason that the license was here before, that I'm willing to approve it. It's not an additional store. It's finally reopening one that was there. According to here, it says 72 feet. From that, is that correct?
More like 145.
yeah,
I think.
140, yeah, 145.
Distance between current and proposed location, it says 72 feet per Google Maps. Is our information
Yeah, I
wrong?
think I think it's more like 145.
Right.
It's probably just not accurate.
All right,
It's directly across the street.
all right, yeah. Yeah. Still, even at 145 feet, that's not really that much of a different location, so I'm willing to approve based on that.
I'm willing to approve as well. The sales of the closest liquor stores, of four of the five closest are all up over the last 4 years. This store was in this direct location for decades and has been put in safekeeping for 4 years. If you look at the map of the surrounding stores, we have not placed any stores in this area because that license still existed. It is, I know, of the five closest stores, it's the only one that's on Amsterdam Avenue. So I think that there is a public convenience and advantage to that, as well as the fact that it's obvious that the competitors' sales are all going up, and they were the four closest stores when the license was put in safekeeping, and they're the same four closest stores now. So I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is
Can we
zero-
take 5?
We'll get on the same page soon. Just, I know, I'll figure out how to anticipate what you're looking for. You just picked up what?
I just found out that applicant wants to make some minor changes, but changes to the floor plan.
You need to talk to Jackie. I mean, it's approved as is, so you need to see how she wants to handle it. You need to talk to Jackie.
I'll try to get some consistency. Now I got some time. just here or what? And who's this, who the hell are you here for? Now he tells you? Oh, it's like downstairs. What are we talking about changing? No, I know, it's annoying. Set it to battery. Tell them that it's okay, just to up. Very simple.
Well, listen, depends on how you look at it.
It is morning. Oh, yeah. Staten Island, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to know about that stuff, that's not my job.
Oh, is that the,
Yeah, calm down, yeah, what about it? Okay. Sure.
The one person that wants the store, who else can walk into the store?
I doubt it.
Okay.
They'll check, make sure the pictures in the file.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Tom.
How soon can I get to my place?
Donald, you left the mics on.
What number is it? You know,
Serial number?
what's the name of it?
Oh, R and L.
All right, we're going to resume now. The next item is 02015, Red Zone Industries Corporation.
Good afternoon, Robert Romano. It's a conditional no contest plea of $10,000. I believe I have discussed this with counsel's office, and
Yes, I was the one who asked it to be sent back to council's office.
Correct.
I approve.
approved. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too.
All right, the next item is 02070. It's 7006 Roosevelt Avenue Corporation.
Morning, Leonard Fogelman, attorney for the applicant, who is here with me. We had a 500-foot hearing. He has had a license for more than 20 years at this location without any issues until about a year or so ago.
I see, that's where I got confused.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
And I think the ALJ got confused as well. Did you see the ALJ's decision?
The ALJ, that led to
Of the 500-foot hearing?
No.
Well, he recommended not to grant the license, that it wasn't in public interest, and one of the reasons he did was, and I'm quoting, "a disturbing pattern of operation of these premises from the year 2000."
There is nothing in the record at all from the year 2000. Thank you.
So somebody's not, I don't know whether we're incorrect or you're incorrect, but we have sale to minor, building code violations, refilling. I mean, there's
This was all.
well over a dozen charges.
All the notice of pleadings that we had that led to the cancellation were from 2015, which was the only time.
That may have led to the cancellation, but it didn't.
But there were no previous charges. He ran a clean operation for all these years, and
Well, then I think that you probably should foil us, or we need to. I'm not saying maybe we're wrong, but the information I have is that this place was a big problem from the year 2000.
But there were no. He's never been before the liquor authority on any charges. He was never charged with anything.
Do we have the charges?
I've got a.
Here they are right here. I mean, it's.
I see from 2000.
Yeah, all of which were resolved by.
Oh no, these are from 2015. So I don't have anything.
There was a
before that.
cancellation and an $11,000 fine, which was paid. He can tell you, and I wasn't representing him in 2000. I only started representing him at the time of these disciplinary proceedings, and the disciplinary proceedings did lead to a cancellation.
Well, here's one from 2007. I mean,
what's from 2007?
2,500. He came before the authority on a failure to comply local regulations in January of 2007, and it paid a $2,500 civil penalty.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, so I don't have all of the records, but I have some of them. Are our records accurate?
It does,
Well,
yes.
it's a
I'm sorry.
Queens address, so we have the address under 7006 and 70/06. So two different records come up here.
He has.
And if you pull up by the serial number, all this disciplinary shows up.
It does.
Yeah.
So if you want to go clarify this and put this on for another day, you're welcome to do that, but based on the history that you say doesn't exist, but we say does, I can't give him a license.
He had an attorney from Valley Stream on those early ones.
So you can go check if we're wrong, but
Okay.
my information is we're not wrong.
He's saying that you had another attorney in 2007 handling some
Yes, we did.
SLA
Going back to
disciplinary
2000.
matter. Pardon?
And it was the same attorney, appears to be representing him.
Okay, well, obviously, at this point, we'll ask for an adjournment, and we'll try to put in some additional information.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
But
But that was, the ALJ had a major problem with the history as well at the 500-foot hearing. He never even mentioned it at the 500-foot hearing?
I don't recall a discussion of prior violations.
Okay. And what, just so when you come back here, I'm going to ask this question anyway, did he ever go in front of the community board here for this license?
Did you meet with the community board?
Well, I got a letter that indicates that they're not against it, but they haven't, that they basically indicate that you've been invited to come speak with them, and I don't know whether that ever occurred or not. Now, that could be because, well, then you might want to get them to write a letter.
Community board, then there was no objections.
Then you should have them write a letter as well that says
Get
that.
something from their minutes.
That's no problem.
Okay.
Chairman, you want this one for 9:27?
Yeah, oh, is that enough time?
Yes.
9:27.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item is 02076A, Broadway Hospitality Ventures.
Let me be the first to say good afternoon. My name is Robert Bookman from Bezetsky and Bookman. With me is the applicant, Shelley Fireman, has a long, iconic history of licenses and major restaurants in the city of New York. We're here for a request for reconsideration on denial by licensing of this latest application for Broadway Hospitality Venture, a new restaurant in the also iconic Edison Hotel in Times Square, on the issue of whether we are grandfathered under the 200-foot law from the nearby Scientology building. We submitted a extensive, brief with facts, which we don't think are in dispute.
The only thing in dispute is, to me, why didn't you just come and ask for a declaratory ruling?
Well, by the time our office got involved with the certification of the application and we learned about the Scientology building, we were way too far along with the lease and the renovations. It wasn't enough time to first come with you for a declaratory ruling, so we filed the application. We pointed out all the facts concerning the nearby Scientology building. We had already foiled your licensing history, which showed that there were previous licensed spaces, continuously licensed, going back well before the Scientologists took over the full use of that building.
Yeah, but you've been doing this long enough. You know that should we grandfather this in, this will be the longest period of time we've grandfathered somebody in, that it hasn't been opened.
Well, actually, we pointed out in one situation, and we attached as an exhibit, we did a declaratory ruling where it was actually longer than this.
How much longer?
A few months longer.
Well, that's
close, but longer.
And that was a declaratory ruling.
That was declaratory ruling. The situation here.
It's just going forward. The licensing board is not going to make that determination. That determination has to be made here because they're not going to expand on what the amount of time is that a place can be closed.
Duly noted, and mea culpa, and
not me.
And that was pointed out.
And I apologize too. So.
Yeah, it was just the way the circumstances developed that we just didn't have enough time. We had to get the application moving, and obviously we did not try to slip anything past the board. We pointed this all out, in the application.
Okay, so to get just to clarify, this was continuously licensed. How long has it been closed?
Well, the space has been closed when the time we filed this application for 2.5 years. That's a few months ago now. There's been no other.
Prior to that, it was licensed?
Going back to the 1960s, as far as we can find, with Scientology only.
And the Scientology church went into
full use of that building in 2004.
Okay.
They had some partial use. It was a hotel prior to that.
All right. I'll vote to reconsider.
I agree.
Okay, send it back to licensing.
Thank you.
And I guess I'm going to make a ruling that it's within. It's been continuously licensed since prior to the church.
Thank you again.
Yeah, I think we would need that.
So the 200-foot law does not apply.
You agree, Commissioner?
Agreed.
Thank you very much.
The next item is 02044, Ruby's United LLC.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ford. It's a pleasure to be before you, sir, for the first time.
Max Bookman, Pazetsky and Bookman, representing Ruby's United. With me is the principal, Nicholas Mathers. We're before you today asking for reconsideration of the board's decision to counter our conditional no contest offer of $15,000 in resolution of the charges against Ruby's, which in sum and substance amount to a series of unreported corporate changes going back, beginning in 2008, I believe. Seven. Mr. Mathers has been the principal of the location the entire time. He's been the majority interest holder at the entire time. And what I would just like to make is just a few very brief points that I would ask the board to consider. These are not excuses for Mr. Mathers' conduct. It's noted in your investigative file that Mr. Mathers has been upfront and honest and candid about his ignorance of the law requiring reporting of corporate changes. So we're not making excuses, but these are simply mitigating factors that I submit, if are fully considered by the board, would point to the more appropriate penalty, in this case being the $15,000 offer that was negotiated with counsel's office and not cancel and bond.
I'd like to interrupt you there for the fact that I don't think that your representation was correct, that this was endorsed by counsel's office. Counsel had said cancellation, and you had asked for a monetary penalty, and my position was you could send $15,000 to the board. I have no idea if the members will take it, but we will see.
We're fully aware that it's this board that makes the decision on any conditional no contest offer, but the $15,000 number was a number that came from counsel's office. But yes, we accept that. This is the board.
Oh, wait, did it come from? She just said it didn't.
Oh, yes,
No,
it did.
I had said cancellation. They came back and asked for a monetary
Oh,
penalty.
okay, and
And
that's the
there are
number.
some other cases that we have seen settled for $20,000 or so with similar facts.
Okay.
I said, I think it should be cancellation. You want to put $15,000 before the members and see if they take it, but this wasn't a statement.
Right,
from
but he didn't set the number, you did, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then that number was originally much lower, and then counsel's office raised it to
bet.
$15,000. So, all right, so the factors that to consider. First, Mr. Mathers has been the majority interest holder the entire time. Second, the method of operation has never changed. Third, none of the corporate changes that were unreported would have required an appearance before the community board. So it cannot be said that this was an attempt to thwart community board review. The minority partners, of whom were 3 and have now went, were all licensable individuals. It cannot be said.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't know. You know that now, but
It is a problem, Mr. Chairman. We think that, again, these are not excuses, but in light of the fact that Mr. Mathers has been a good operator, we've remedied the situation now with a corporate change that has brought the authority up to speed. In light that he's remained the majority interest holder, has been candid throughout, the method of operation has never changed, and the community board never would have required notification.
how long has he been open? Since 2007?
Yes. He was open in 2007, and the
Does
first...
he have any history?
All right, so open in 2007, and the first change was in 2008. And then again in 2012.
What did you do before that, before this restaurant?
Before the restaurant, I had another restaurant called Ruby's Cafe on Mulberry Street.
Did you have any history there?
Oh, no.
With us, I mean.
No, I have a beer and wine license.
I was asking if you had any disciplinary
Oh,
charges.
no. I've had that since...
Oh, you still have it?
Yes, still have it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been there for 13 years on Mulberry Street.
Okay. I'll go to 20. I don't know what Commissioner Ford is thinking, but
These other 2 guys are out of the picture now, right? Bought them out?
and that's only because you have no history whatsoever.
Well,
What's that? Sorry. Nicholas May.
there was an improper notification and failure to conform to application in 2010.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah, sorry, he asked me on Ruby's.
And the renewal.
Okay. So we're at 20.
We would
max.
take 20 if Commissioner Ford, you are in agreement, sir.
I'm in agreement with the chairman, 20,000. Don't take any more partners without telling us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, honestly.
And he knows what to do now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you,
You're
Commissioner.
accepting the counteroffer?
Yes, the counteroffer is accepted at 20.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's 20,000, Tom. I know you're new.
1,000? Oh, I thought it was 20. 20,000. Thank you so much.
You can get up now, Mr. Mailer. 02023 Smith and Vine LLC.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Martin Mailer of Mailer and Buscemi. I have next to me the owner of a liquor store that's been in operation for 12 years without any problems with the New York State Liquor Authority.
Do we have any protests here for this?
As far as I know, no.
All right, I'm fine with this. All right.
Okay.
Approved.
She's very nervous. Thank you very much.
You drove a hard bargain today.
Thank you. I do my best work when I don't say anything. I've noticed that.
Remember that. Just try to remember that.
Council will agree with that. See?
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll wait. I'll be.
Good luck.
The next item is 02065 1188 Gates Avenue Corporation.
This is my partner's matter. He's not here, but I can address this. There's a civil penalty plea, no contest plea of $4,000. It's based on two charges, one being unauthorized trade name. It's been corrected. It was sent in with the renewal. And although it's not an excuse, the licensee had no idea that she could not use that basement. So without filing proper papers, she didn't realize it wasn't contiguous. So they're filing for a warehouse permit as well. I mean, it's no excuse that it was being used, but she truly did not know she was supposed to file a separate warehouse permit for that.
What was her name supposed to be? Not that I care. I'm just wondering. I'll accept the 4,000. I'm just wondering. It's back as one. That was what she was using. I'm wondering what she was supposed to be. Because we don't have that in the papers.
You went up on me. All I know is that the name that should be on there is now on there.
Okay. I'll accept 4,000.
4,000 accepted, even though we don't know what the name is on it now.
No, we do now. We do now. We do now.
Okay. Accepted. 4,000.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
See you.
The next item is 02072 Fine and Rare Wines and Spirits LLC.
Good afternoon, John Springer, appearing on behalf of and with the applicant, Mr.
Where have you
McNeil.
been?
Playing golf.
He hasn't been around in a while, has he?
You're going to see me every second Tuesday for the next 6 weeks.
Okay.
Welcome, Commissioner Ford. Congratulations, Mr. O'Donoghue. This is a new liquor store. We submitted substantial information about the method of operation, which we believe is unique. Additionally, I've gotten some demographics report over the weekend. The 2010 census from over 2000 in a 1 mile radius increased 3.6%, and a 10% mile radius, it increased 5.9%. The average family income in a 1 mile radius is $141,000, which is quite significant. The 10 mile average family income is $112,000. We're not aware of any opposition. This is a small store.
No, I'm not either. Internet sales. Are you doing them?
Well, I think what we need to do for a business like this is we need to advertise what we have on the internet, because I believe that this is the style of business that will attract people from beyond the local community.
I would assume that's your goal.
Absolutely, because you can't run a business like this in the ultra premium end without bringing people in. So I do believe there'll be an internet presence. But I also believe that there's substantial demand that's physical demand geographically, and I think people will show up to the store.
So you don't have any plans on shipping out of state at this point?
I don't have any plans on shipping out of state at this point. I am aware that the market for wines and whiskey in this area, the demand comes from all over, but I believe that the people who will be interested in this will have strong enough geographic proximity that they can come in if they're from out of state. We're located within easy reach of New Jersey and Connecticut, as well as Westchester and upstate New York and New York City. So I think that we'll have real geographic access for those people.
Okay.
290.
You were a wine wholesaler before, is it?
No, sir, I'm an attorney, and
How'd you get into this?
Wine has been a passion of mine for more than 20 years. I've lived in Europe. I've traveled through most of the major vineyard regions in Europe, and I've been collecting wine for more than 20 years. And I've reached a point where I wanted to spend more time focused on a business that joined, my interest in wine with some possibility of making money out of it. Also, being a lawyer is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's why I ended up here too. Any questions?
No, I don't have a problem with this at all. I would vote to approve.
See, the only thing I have is the 4 days a week. Is that an issue?
Not if he's telling us from the get-go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the store is 360 square feet, which is extremely small. His business model is only to focus on high-end wine and spirits. And when he says high-end, above $100 a bottle, correct? And
My guess is it'll be considerably more than that.
yeah. So while there are other liquor stores in the area, none of them have the same business model that he is proposing. So based on that, I believe there's a convenience and advantage, and based on the size of the store, I don't think it'll have any effect on the other sales. I'll vote to approve as well.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next item is two items, 02039 and 02040. It's 620 Waverly Avenue Corporation.
Good afternoon, Commissioner, members of the board. Brian Trodden, attorney from Castro and Trodden, and appearing with me is the manager for 620 Waverly Corp., Mr. David Reyes.
What is all this stuff fixed?
It is, Your Honor. I did submit via correspondence on May 5th and again on June 16th.
Yeah, we have.
Everything's been fixed. All matters were resolved. It was a total of $6,250 in fines that were paid. I also supplied proof. One of the issues was that there was the security was not properly licensed at the time. I provided a contract that my client has signed. He does now currently have contracted security as well that he's had
Mr.
since
Trotting, I don't
February.
mean to interrupt, but my notes here indicate that the Mr. Jose Reyes was supposed to appear.
Jose Reyes is his brother. He had open heart surgery. He's unable to appear, but I am appearing on behalf of the corporation, and I have the manager, the brother of Jose, the manager is David Reyes with me. And he was present on the date that all these violations were issued.
Okay. And he fixed the security guards as well, I take it?
Yes, Judge, in the correspondence I provided on June 16th, I also provided a copy of the contract that he has with the security company. He's actually been using that particular security company since February, but the contract is dated in June.
Okay.
I vote to accept.
I'll accept as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next item is 02034, Las Vegas Sports Bar Corporation.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ford. My name is Matthew Lipinski, and I'm the attorney representing the applicant. With me is the applicant, Ms. Guerra Soto, and her father, Mr. Guerra, who would be the manager of the bar. And we are here to answer any questions the board may have.
Can I ask what your security plan is?
Yes, they're going to be having a full-time bouncer. And we'll be also equipped with a scanner to ensure that anyone entering the bar is of the legal age.
When you say bouncer, you mean licensed security guard?
Yes.
I mean, my concern is that in February, we canceled this license based on a no contest default, which means he didn't even reply to the charges. And now he's back 6 months later and wants us to reopen his bar for him as far as giving him a license. And one, not only did he not abide by the law the last time, but he didn't even have enough respect for this agency to come in and answer the charges that he was charged with.
Well, I'd bring to the board's attention that prior to February, within, I believe, the 4 months before February, he had actually retained myself and my partner, David Reifus, to represent him in allegations before the board that we were successful on.
So what happened to these?
According to my client, he never received them. He only received the cancellation notice, at which time he supplied it to myself and Mr. Reifus, in which we actually sent in an application to the Liquor Authority, or a letter requesting that the case be reconsidered and reopened. That was denied, and therefore we are here now.
And these are the only charges he's ever had at this place, as far as at least sustained charges?
Yes, those are, and the only reason they were sustained is because he did not respond. The previous allegations which we represented him on were all similar allegations of basically disorderly conduct outside of the bar, where there was no connection to the state of intoxication being attributed to the bar itself, being that this is on a main street with other bars located right next door and within the area.
Those weren't his patrons?
No.
And you didn't get, did we send we sent it to the landlord, we sent it to the name and address. You know, we were talking about this the other day. It just boggles my mind how unreliable certified mail is.
As I understand that situation. As I said, my client has hired us twice within the 4 months before February to represent him, and we've succeeded in any defense for him prior to that. I can't imagine that he wouldn't have had any reason not to provide us with any notice of allegations.
All right. And your only thing you're changing is your plan on hiring a security guard company?
And as in accordance with the law, he will make sure that a manager or the owner is there 24/7. But yes, to have a consistent security guard to ensure that patrons who are too intoxicated will not be admitted to the premises, to make sure that patrons are not overserved at the premises.
And what's the music? Is he going to have music at the bar, at the restaurant?
Is there a ju-
Look at the box.
There's a jukebox there.
Yeah, it says recorded and jukebox music, no dancing.
What are his hours?
9 to 3.
9 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Every day?
Yes.
Looking at this, it looks like you had a bad few weeks between October and November of 2015. Everything that looks like it happened within that time period. I don't see anything else. Well, based on that, security guard, what are you doing about the ID? What did you say?
They have a scanner.
A scanner, okay. Based on hiring authorized security scanner, I'm willing to approve.
I'll approve on those stipulations, and if their hours during the week are 9 to 1, and on Friday and Saturday, 9 to 2. If they want to come back in a year and there's no problems, then I'll reconsider it, but not before a year.
Okay, so Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday.
No, Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
Or Sunday through Thursday. And then Friday night and Saturday night, they can stay open until 2 a.m. the next morning.
We agree to those stipulations. Thank you very much for your consideration.
I'll
on this.
approve under those stipulations.
Agreed.
Mr. Lipinski, when you're done, could you come over here for a second?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next item is 02032, Angie's Wines and Spirits LLC.
Good afternoon, I'm Murray Kaplan. I'm the attorney for the applicant LLC, and this is Angie. Her legal name is Chunwa Lee.
So let me ask about, are you familiar with the liquor store Vitus, located on 410 Mamaroneck Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Is that open?
That store is closed. And
Did we get any information on that? How do you know it's closed? You've driven by it?
we know it's closed because she's been looking for a good location for 6 months, and she knows every spot on this street and has talked to every real estate agent, and that spot was offered to her, and she was told by the real estate agents that control the spot that the store was very successful but failed to pay sales tax, and that's why it was closed. So, I mean, it is third-party information, but I know the storefront itself that still has all the racks in it is closed and empty.
And what about Worldwide Wine and Liquor on Halsted Avenue? Is she familiar with that? Is that open or closed?
I don't see that on your list.
It's the fourth closest, 132 Halsted Avenue in Harrison.
CC Park Corp.
Yes, yep.
is on my list.
Yes, that's the one.
We have it listed as the third closest on the map that we provided. I don't know if it's open or not, sir.
Do we know?
Figures to pass.
As far as the first one you mentioned, the license is not on deposit for safekeeping, and it's active, and it's good until July of 2017.
So send out enforcement.
System was a little slow today. There's no indication that it was closed. It's showing active again until June of 2017.
Let's send enforcement to them too. CC Park Corp. Okay, go ahead. So what's she doing that the other one, that our closest competitors are not doing?
The significance, sir, is that the way it's a beautiful little community right there on Mamaroneck Avenue. There are many small shops. The location that she's proposing is surrounded by every type of restaurant and business, Sprint, AT&T, several banks, things like that. And so what happens is the residents in the community, they park, there's perpendicular parking along the entire area, and then there are municipal lots along the back. And so everyone comes, they park their car one time on this area, which is essentially one very long block on Mamaroneck Avenue between Spencer and Prospect, and then they walk to all these shops and restaurants. And so for the convenience of the community, this store, there is no store on Mamaroneck Avenue. The closest store is around the corner on, there was a typo on the application, but it's actually, as shown on your website, Station Liquors, 137, 139 Halsted Avenue. That one is across from the train station and appears to get most of its business. There's really no parking there at the train station, people coming and going. But this is essentially 2 blocks away, a half a block on Halsted and a block and a half on Mamaroneck, the location she's proposing. And so what I actually accompanied Angie a week ago on Tuesday when we checked in, heard that there was going to be the hearing and that the key issue would be whether it's in the best interest of the community. And so we went to virtually every business in that community on that street. Many people responded by saying, oh, this is good because people are coming in and saying, where's the liquor store? But virtually everyone that had authority to sign, 2 of the banks said, we're national companies, we can't sign. And I think there were 1 or 2 other people where the manager wasn't there. But Sprint, AT&T, Westchester Bank, CVS, the managers of all the stores, as well as a grand total of of 60 stores immediately in the vicinity said, yes, this would be good for business. It's a nice compliment for these residents that are coming here. They're parking their car once, and they want to be able to do all their shopping right there in this downtown business district. It's actually the Mamaroneck Police are within the few feet of the proposed location of the store where they cross the people. It's just a very charming little community, and she would be in the heart of it, which is why after looking for 6 months, this was her dream to have it right there. And there really is no other liquor store on this street other than the one that closed, Vitus.
And that one was closed prior to you apply, it's been closed since June? At least?
Yes, sir. Well before that, because we've been looking and looking for a place for many months.
Okay. Any questions?
I don't know, do we need to confirm that it's closed?
We can if you want. You can have somebody try to call it.
We have nothing in our records to indicate that it's open or closed, right? All right.
We would only know if they told us, though.
All right.
But we can have Mike try to give it a call if you want to have him.
I would like to know that before I voted.
Okay. So we'll second call this, and can you email Mike and have him try to call the store?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll second call it.
Call us back
Yeah,
up again.
yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, the next item is 02020, Esconchia Wines Incorporated.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. My name is Franco Denari. I am a consultant of Mr. Kevin Conrad. He is right now in Europe for business, so this is the reason why I'm here this morning.
You're his consultant?
Yeah, I'm a consultant because I'm Italian, so I work on the selection of the wines catalogs. And
when's he coming back?
I think next Friday.
So we're going to put this over, or I'm going to deny it. Which would you rather do?
Oh.
He's got to be here.
Oh, okay.
9:27, is that good?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bring him with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is 02025, Port Atlantic Yacht Club, LLC.
Good morning. May I approach Neil Vasaki for the license?
Yes.
I have some
Yep.
handouts. I'd just like to.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you.
It's more important that he gets it for the record.
I'll get you a copy. Next time, bring more copies. So next time, bring more copies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, would it be all right if I just began a little bit? So, this incident basically was brought to my personal attention, I guess, maybe about 10 days or so ago. And I guess the issue over here is the alteration application, the items that we wanted approved. And so I thought that the first thing I would do to tackle the issues was to, first of all, reach out to the community and reach out to the precinct, because I know there was a letter that was forwarded up to the authority some time ago. My office was put on notice that the community board was pretty much vehemently against agreeing to the alterations. So after basically having about a 45-minute conversation with Stacy at the Community Board 3, additionally, the Special Operations Lieutenant, John Pizzo, it seems that the real issue here is really finally narrowed down to like some noise on one weekend day. Just a little history. My clients, I've represented a lot of places that are real problematic, and, my clients seem to be doing, everything right. So I just want to start by talking about, it's on the water, it's in Tottenville, it's part of a marina. They certainly have the right security. They've been, actually up until about a week or so ago, there were no summonses. They have no adverse history with the Liquor Authority. They have a tremendous security company that's there doing everything right. They actually spent a lot of money on a whole new sound system. They have valet parking. They have basically a secondary lot that they've leased that will handle over 100 cars. Their lot in particular also has room for 100-plus cars. So knowing that noise was the big problem, I just want to say that Ellis Street, basically, from Arthur Kill Road down to the very end, where Angelina's is probably 95% commercial. And the residences are virtually, I don't even want to say across the street, because there's a train yard across the street from them, and maybe a couple hundred feet away on the other side. So not seeing the letter that was sent up here, I'm guessing that that the community board really has to field, many noise complaints, mostly from the community residents on the other side of the train tracks. And so what my clients have done when the season started, they spent many thousands of dollars erecting containers. And I just want to, I may approach, just have some photographs to kind of just give an idea of the containers that were basically placed in front of the entire location. And based on the conversation that I had with Stacy at the community board, pretty much the complaints from across the train station, for the most part, have subsided, although there are some. And now what happened is, because those gigantic steel containers were placed there, the adjacent boatyard, started to complain. But what's really important is that, in speaking with Lieutenant John Pizzo, and I don't like to quote people, but he said it would be all right if I basically stated here that, but by no means is that place a problem for the precinct. They do, on Saturday, they put 2 police cars to assist in the traffic, along with the people that my clients hired to assist in the traffic. Ellis Street's very narrow. So, but there is no, there's no police issues there whatsoever. But I do want to mention that when I asked them about, does the place get tested for, noise? I mean, there's all these noise complaints. Have there been any actual tests, meter readings from the DEP or the March programs or they themselves? He said at least 6 times over the summer they passed each and every test. As a matter of fact, once they came close, but they've never actually failed a noise meter reading. So, they're in constant communication with the community board. After speaking with the community board and the police, I think we're going to have a follow-up meeting to try to see what we can do to kind of block out the volume from going kind of next door to the adjacent marina. And
When
my
does
clients have been
when does the music outside end? What time?
Well, on Friday and Saturday, it ends at 3, but their complaint is certainly, according to Stacy, not Friday and Saturday whatsoever. The complaints really are on Sunday when they have kind of a larger party. So, my clients have agreed
When does it
to-
end on Sunday?
Sunday, I'm sorry, yes, Sunday.
Yeah, what time?
8 p.m. And they did that specifically because the precinct actually requested that they shut down at 8 p.m. Additionally, I want to add that they were scheduled to actually go through the whole month of September, and the police have advised them, and I strongly advise them, that if they could kind of just, cut things out like, now, be in their best interest, and they've agreed to do that.
Do we have open charges right now, Jake?
No.
No.
So they're with the police department, so we haven't even got them yet. You have noise, did you have,
Well, I'll tell you.
did you have violations from the police department?
What I know about that incident, the DJ was arrested. I'm not exactly sure why. And there was, they issued an unlicensed security guard summons to basically somebody who was basically just wearing a staff shirt directing, this is the story I got, wearing a staff shirt directing traffic. We could be more, you could get some more, facts. But at this time, the summons may have even been issued incorrectly. But that's
No, but it didn't get to us yet, so.
No, there's not.
Everything you're telling me is news.
Yeah, I'm just laying a little bit of a history.
Right, I
So,
get it.
this is a.
You're here for the alteration.
Yeah, this is a great spot, not problematic. The 10 items that we placed on the alteration, they want to correct the situation. They didn't actually know that the timeliness of having to actually put to the authority the alterations first and then getting approval. We had a meeting in May. We actually let the community board know, I think, sometime. I think just about the middle of March, we let them know that we were going to make these changes, and because of the noise complaints that they were getting from the adjacent marina, they basically had an opportunity to then write a letter to the authority, kind of not giving them the thumbs up for these alterations. But, you know, this, I don't like to minimize anything, but this is really a place that's acting very professional.
Well, let me just ask you, they have, the community board, you know, the letter's less detailed than you think it is.
Okay.
So it says you have 4 open ECB violations, is that true?
I don't believe-
Which are noise, I'm assuming.
No, ECB, noise.
Would be environmental control.
Yeah.
I'm only aware of one.
One.
And they're saying you have a DOB violation for failure to certified correction of Class 1 violation of property. I don't even know what that is. 13 complaints logged with the NYPD for noise complaints of June, which is what you're talking about.
Listen, you're out there on the water, and there's.
No, I'm not asking you to explain them. I'm asking you if that's true.
That sounds about right.
And then you have do you have a valid place of assembly certificate?
Yes,
They're saying they're questioning that. This is the community board.
No,
that's all.
there's a valid C of O for 200 people, certainly.
Okay.
So.
All right, do you have any?
Well,
I mean, what's going to happen is these charges are going to come in and
Well, yeah.
and I'll deal with them then.
Right, but as far as the alteration, I mean, I think.
And there's
you know,
probably going to be alteration, it's probably going to be noise, it's going to cost you. But this is for the alteration.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I don't really have a problem with it, unless you do.
Which direction is the sound system and the stage facing, toward the water or toward the railroad tracks?
Towards New Jersey.
So if you get complaints across the water from South Amboy, Perth Amboy, who cares, right? Different state,
Police
right?
has basically told us the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Out of jurisdiction, sorry, can't help you.
It's really the competing marina now, after we put that sound wall.
Yeah.
That, you know, they're right next door, which we'll build another sound wall to lock that in New Jersey, which, you know, we'll figure out, look, our goal is to be good members of the community, even across the water. You know,
Right.
no, we're trying to, you know, most of our customers come from New Jersey.
Right. So the sound wall, is it between, I'm looking at a Google shot of you now, I'm trying to figure out where the sound wall is.
That's facing Ellis Street. That's basically all the residents on the opposite side of the
So
train
it's
track.
parallel to Ellis Street.
Yeah,
It's between the outdoor bar and Ellis Street.
Okay.
and the meetings are going to continue with the precinct and with the community board. And I'm going to actually make myself available.
I mean, what you're talking about is your method of operation, which is what they're complaining about. Your alteration isn't really changing your method of operation. You're
No,
going to,
not at all, but I guess because of the.
the
community
alteration
board
is
letter-
just moving a bar, adding another bar, and taking a stage out, it looks like, right?
So the letter said it may be a full board matter, so when I came up here, you know, I didn't really know what was in that letter, so I'm kind of just trying to paint a picture of, you know, how responsible they are, you know, at the place. I mean, they've been in business 3 years. I think their renewal is up next May, and certainly by next May, everything will be squared away, and there's no,
We're only
it-
open
it's,
3 months out of the year.
as far as outside, you know, any outside activity. In the restaurant, there's no issues with the restaurant.
Okay.
And this is your new in-house sound system? Is that the
Yes.
idea? PA? Yeah.
They're also they're also going to be hiring somebody else to figure out what they could do between the marinas to kind of curtail that noise.
What kind of bands do you guys have?
DJs.
Oh, DJs, okay. That's a lot more controllable. You can simply roll off the low end, because that's what people are going to hear.
Usually when they take the microphone, they start speaking, that just.
Yeah. All right. You want to enter this into the?
They have it already.
Oh, you already have it? Okay. All right.
So you want to vote?
Yeah, I vote to approve your plans here with concern that we may be seeing you again.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give you a shot, and let's see how you deal with it.
I'll vote to approve as well. This is alteration to the existing restaurant. It's not changing the capacity of the restaurant, correct? It's still, and it's not really changing the method of operation at all. So I'll vote to approve as well.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Good luck.
The next item is 02035 Oyster City LLC.
Say that again, Tom?
02035.
Good afternoon. Joseph Levy here on behalf of Oyster City LLC. I have with me the primary principal, Reed Allison. This is an application for an upgrade from a restaurant wine license to a full liquor license for an existing restaurant at 647 East 11th Street. The community board denied our application for an upgrade, despite the fact that we supplied them with significant community support.
I'm reading their letter from when he got his beer wine license, and there's a number of stipulations that they asked your client to enter into, but they don't indicate whether you guys agreed or not.
We did agree.
And then they just denied it anyway?
Yeah, we agreed. So the history here, the full history is Reed appeared before Community Board 3 in the hopes of obtaining a full liquor license for his restaurant when they first opened. They were told by the board that the fact that the space had never been licensed previously with a full license, despite the fact that it's had a beer and wine license, and they had no experience as owners in restaurants, despite the fact that their resumes are pretty incredible, per se, Locanda Verde, like they're restaurant people. They wouldn't give them a full liquor license. But they'd give them a beer and wine if they wanted it. And if they wanted to come back in a year to see if they can get a full liquor, they can do that, because the Block Association had a big issue with giving a full liquor license to them on that corner. They took the beer and wine. They've been in business for over a year. No complaints, no violations, no issues. They close at midnight every night. They are a pure restaurant. This is not a big space, 36 or 38 seats, a few seats at the bar. And when Reed originally called me at the beginning of 2016, I told him that because the Block Association, which is fairly vocal on 11th Street, had an issue with him at the outset, the best thing he could do is reach out to the Block Association and revisit that. He indicated a lot of them come to the restaurant, and he's really kind of won them over. He appeared before the Block Association. They had a vote, and as you can see in the materials I submitted, the Block Association voted to approve the upgrade, and I believe the final vote was 6 in favor, 1 against, 1 abstention, or 8 in favor, 1 against, 1 abstention. And that's a block association comprised of residents of the block as well as business owners. So despite the block association's vote of confidence and the signatures from the block, from the neighborhood, and the good history for a year and being what he said he was going to be, the community board still denied, really just because they cite, I think, 13 different on-premise licenses within a 500-foot radius. By lamp and my count, I have 5.
But did they, what I was trying to figure out is, when he originally got his wine and beer, did they also deny that, even though you agreed to all the stipulations, or once you did, you agreed, they agreed to
So
it?
what they do is they do this deny unless thing, which is another way of saying approved if you comply with these stipulations, and he has complied with all the stipulations.
So they did say, since you agreed to them, we'll be fine with the beer and wine. All right,
Correct.
I just couldn't figure that out. I don't know why they read it
And
like
when
that.
where we are now, 15, 16 months later, is he's still adhering
Right.
to all the stipulations.
And he still will.
Still willing to. We just want to increase what we offer in terms of a drink menu. His patrons ask for it. He has lots of regulars. Everyone from the community board comes to his place.
What kind of restaurant is it? What, like food-wise?
It's a modern American restaurant.
Roasted lavender eggplant.
You been there?
I'm reading the menu right now.
So the chef was a former cook at Per Se. You know, the menu is legitimate. It's a pure food place.
No, I'm trying
They
to
have great
figure out
reviews.
what other, is there anything else like it in the area? As far as modern?
Not in the immediate area, but there are other places like it, obviously in Manhattan, and
Yeah,
every single
no,
one
I
of
know
them
that.
has a full liquor license. They have beer and wine, and you know, they're looking to appeal to their patrons. They're looking to enhance the experience for people, and they've shown they can do it responsibly.
Okay.
So you're in agreement to these 10 stipulations here, community board?
The ones he agreed to
They've been adhering
previously.
to them, and they're happy to continue.
Okay. It says here, every night, closed facade, every night during any amplified performances, not included till DJs, live music, and live non-musical. Then it says, play recorded background music and not have live music, DJs, promoted events, and so forth. So you're just going to have recorded background music? Is that the idea?
we've only, since we opened, had recorded music, no live music.
Okay. All right. Based on those stipulations that you've agreed to, I approve.
I'll approve as well. It's a restaurant that, a 10-table restaurant that seats 36 with 10 at the bar, so it's a small restaurant. They have had a wine and beer license for over a year without any violations with us, and it would appear any violations of the stipulations they entered into with the community board, which will be part of this license as well. And notably, the Block Association, what was the Block Association?
The East 11th Street Block.
The East 11th Street Block Association voted to grant this license in spite of the community board's objection. And notably, it was a 6-1 vote, I believe, because I do have the minutes of that, or 5-1, and three of those votes were residents of the block, which would indicate to me that there is not a problem with this restaurant. So I'll find that it is in the public interest to give a full liquor license to this neighborhood restaurant, and with the stipulations that are already in place with the community board. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is 02024 Wines and Spirits on 8th Incorporated.
Did we hear anything from Mike Jones?
I think a confirmation is on it.
You here in this matter, sir?
In opposition?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and tell us who you are. And
My name is Brendan Reedy. I'm a owner of Reedy Wine and Liquor, along with my wife Camille, who's here with me. We are just an observation of most of the meetings this morning. A lot of the municipalities are talking about miles and distances and 10 blocks, 15 blocks, stores and avenues. My address is 762. The new license application is 694, which we're on 8th Avenue. I've been at this location on 46th, 47th for 43 years. I think from our gross sales report, we've reported from 12, 13, 14, and 15 with a decrease in our sales. Starting the first 6 months of 16, we are rebounding, but our location relies a lot on tourism, hotels, and the theater industry. We service the community for most of the day, from 9 in the morning until 11 at night. We close at 11, mainly because after 11 o'clock at night, we let our employees go home. And at 11 o'clock at night, there's a dramatic decrease in sales that it doesn't pay for us to operate our business for that shorter period of time. On Sundays, we open from 12 until 8 o'clock. There again, we can stay till 9, but we leave at 8 o'clock at night. We service the community with many of the different wines. The revitalization in 16 probably has to do with our seeing that we had decreased over the period of years. What we decided to do was to buy better, buy the products that the people are looking for in the demand, and concentrate heavily on those items, and which we've been doing, which a lot of major retailers are doing, because there's a lot of products out there that don't satisfy the needs of the people. As far as the New York State wines, we carry Bully Hill, Pindar, and also I reside on Long Island, so I have Long Island wines, Pindar, Bully Hill, Duck Walk, as well as Taylor, New York State. I feel, and my wife feels, that we satisfy the public convenience for the amount of hours and the days that we're there. I've had many stores come into my neighborhood. I found one on 46th and 6th Avenue that I was not even notified about. I don't know what other stores were notified in our area. We have one Frank and Ray's on 48th and 9th. I have 46 Wine and Liquor there on 9th Avenue. There again, that's an avenue. This new location, we're talking about streets. So from 46 to 44th is a 2-block radius. Now, I just don't understand why another store needs to be in our area, which is, according to me, serviced very well. I've been there for 43 years.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, Mr. Reedy found the time to show up today.
I just see there was an earlier, Stacy Weiss represents the applicant. She had two emails submitted some time back for adjournments. It looks like the one I responded to, but not this one.
What's this one?
This matter right here.
Yeah, what's she asking for?
She was asking for an adjournment. They were submitted at some, a couple weeks ago, but it looks like the one was responded to on Friday, but this one was not.
All right, what date is she looking for?
She was planning for the 27th for the other one.
But she never asked for a date for this one?
No, I'm looking back. She sent two emails.
No, I get that, but what date did she want this case on?
She asked for the 27th for this one as well.
Put it on the 27th. Mr. Reedy, you can come back on the 27th or not. This is all videotaped, so we have your comments, and I'll review them before she does come in and make her presentation, but you're welcome to come back and say it again as well if you want. I know it takes time, so. But your
Also, make sure that all the other stores around us are notified.
we notify them the same way you guys got notified, but yeah, everybody gets notified again. Yeah, only those that are on record of opposition. There was only you and another store. The only one that was Cambridge Wine and Liquors is also written to us in protest, but the other ones did not respond to us. But they're welcome to come in if you want to bring them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to recall Angie's Wines and Spirits.
Just to let you know that Deputy C.E. Jones called him. The phone is no longer in service. Yelp indicates the business is closed, and the store for rent and landlord is advertising on the internet. That's
Okay.
for Vitas. For CC, someone did answer the phone.
Okay.
And they're open.
Your Honors, if you want any additional information, I happen to have found the email from the real estate agent with the pictures of the empty store.
No, I believed you. We can't, if it ends up being untrue for whatever reason, they're going to say you believed the other guy.
Based on that information, I vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well. They're a store within 341 feet. Vitas LLC at 410 Mamaroneck Avenue is clearly closed. The applicant is looking to move at 329 Mamaroneck Avenue. So she'd be replacing a store that has just closed, so I'll vote to approve as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
The last item I have is two items, 02062 and 02063, Bronx Sports Emporium.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. Okay, can you put your name on the record? I know it, but
Aurelia Taveras. I'm the representative for Bronx Sport Emporium, DBA Sapitos, on 3168 East Tremont Avenue, Bronx, New York.
are they going to do anything to try to upgrade the security here, or what?
Yes, we have a security guard company. I have their roster, and we are on the calendar for 9:15 for the community board. We're going to change, add this to the method of operation to notify the liquor authority that they have a DJ, they have a manager, and the information on the security so that the record on this location is in order with the authority.
All right, I'll accept 1,500 CNC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
1,500 CNC accepted.
Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
All right, we've got two more items, two more late entries here. 02009, Shaw Incorporated. Is Mr. McCallan here, or
He was here.
the last two that signed in? Where are the folks who signed in for this?
All right, we'll wait a couple minutes. Yeah. Go to the next one.
Mr. Levy, did you have something else, or?
Something for me.
All right, all right. Oh, there's Mr. McCallan.
You're up.
Good afternoon, Thomas McCallan. Welcome, Commissioner Ford, my first introduction. Welcome back, Mr. Donahue.
Thank you.
Two matters. I don't know which one you call first. Maybe you haven't yet.
2009.
Which one do you have, Chairman? 432 or Charles?
Charles.
Charles, okay. Licensee, I gave you a little write-up on it.
So we got to well, first I'm going to withdraw charge 1, because I've been asked to by counsel's office. Then go ahead.
And the offer remains, again, I try to lay it out to the best of my ability. Mr. Chiappa appeared in court himself. Charges were dismissed. He was asked to take an ATAP training course, which he did. I have a copy of the ATAP receipt, so I ask that the members take that into consideration. And perhaps it's a very small kind of
Did we get a complaint on this guy?
These were police referrals.
This is the police.
So what happened? The guy.
It's a remarkable story. It's there's an operation in Nassau County, BSO, Bureau of Special Ops, and they've been going around on inspections.
Oh, it's just random?
Yeah, and I have a second one here. And a few weeks back, you heard a case where the licensee had digitized his books and records and put it on his cell phone, and they arrested him. They almost arrested Mrs. Chiappa, and the second matter I have here, they arrested the bouncer for failure to have his security guard license.
1998, no issue, and then all of a sudden, all right, I'll accept.
But I thought it was kind of low for refilling and books and records.
Well, the refilling, I mean,
It was, but the first charge got dismissed, and then he's got almost, 20 years of nothing.
He's probably been refilling for.
What's that? Well, he said it was Zeppeli oil, but I'm not going there. But I wasn't even buying that one.
All right, the next item is 02.
Hey, no, Commissioner Ford has to vote.
I will accept as well.
Thank you. Now, we eligible for reduction with the ATAP?
No, because he's charged. Well, this wasn't he wasn't charged with sale to minor.
No, the court ordered that he take the ATAP course, which he did.
I don't know if he is, but if he is, he can do it.
He has to be charged with sale to minor.
Oh, that's only applies to sale to minor?
It's only sale to minor.
All right. We'll leave all enough alone.
All right. And the next item is 02016, 432 North Wantai Avenue.
Again, a BSO operation. This I kind of laid out to the best of my ability. There were a number of different charges. Relatively good license history here. There was an earlier violation years ago, but for the most part, it's been good conduct. Again, the operation came in, and they went through a list of various items, and I kind of broke down each charge.
Do they have the workman's comp back?
They do. They have the workers' comp back. I actually have some paperwork to that effect here. They did a workout on one of the earlier workers' comp claims, and he's on an installment payment plan. The other ones he's contesting because there were periods where he closes and it's interrupted. I'm learning that the workers' comp rules, it's kind of a series of trip hazards, and it's pretty tricky. So based upon that, it has been reinstated.
Another refiller, though. What's going on in?
No, you know what it is? If you're found with a funnel, and you can say it's for fruit juices, and you can say whatever the heck you want, but when the special ops are there, you're not really putting up much of an argument. So, again, I'm not going to debate the point, but yes, this instance, there was refilling.
All right, I'll accept.
8,000 accepted.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the week.
See ya.
One more item, a late entry here. It's 02036 Amsterdam Machito Corporation.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today? This is just basically for an approval on the license.
Could you just note your names for the record,
Oh,
please?
yes, I'm sorry. Michael Murphy, representing the applicant, Amsterdam Machito Corp. We have also we have the principal, who's Felix Tavares.
Where's Mr. Santana? Do you work with Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm from his office. He had some medical problems this
Okay.
morning, so he wasn't able to come. But I've reviewed the case myself also, and I worked with him on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Apparently, there was an application put here before, apparently, approximately 2 years ago, year and a half, and apparently it wasn't granted, the authority didn't grant the application, but it was without prejudice. So therefore, we put in another application. He had a problem with his representative before, not understanding exactly what was going on and what he had to do. He had a violation because, in fact, the investigators went over to the premises, and they asked him whether he had alcohol in the premises, and he apparently did, but it was for his own personal use. And at no time did they investigate. He just voluntarily stated exactly what occurred. Thereafter, he's taken a TAP course. He understands the situation. He waited a year. He has the community board supported his application. Also, he had the 500 rule hearing, and he also had no opposition to that.
Was the previous denial discussed at the 500-foot hearing? And why?
I was not there. I believe so. Mr. Santana was there. And it's just that basically this is a small place. It's like 360 square feet. He caters to Spanish food. He has inexpensive food in the premises because the neighborhood is changing completely. And he needs basically a wine and beer license just to, in fact.
Well, he's applied for a full, right?
I mean, for a full, I'm sorry.
Because I'd be more apt to give him the wine and beer.
Right, but the full is just that basically he needs, for instance, they have Zambuca, he has brunches.
No, I'm
something
not
that-
saying he doesn't need it, but I do have, last time we denied this on character and fitness, because I know what he says, but at the end of the day, it was 40 beers. Now, to me, that's a lot of beer for personal consumption.
Right, but it was all,
That's almost 2 cases.
right, but it was over a time period. It wasn't like he was drinking.
I'm not saying, I don't believe he wasn't selling it. I realize he's saying he wasn't, I don't believe him.
But even when the investigators came in, he voluntarily told them that he had the beer. He at no time sold it and had it in the back, and they were sitting down there for quite a while.
That doesn't mean
wouldn't
they
ask
wouldn't
him.
have found it anyway, though.
Right.
I mean, he did tell them, but they
I
never found it.
understand
So
that,
he
but in
wants the
fact, he was
full
not-
OP, he's not looking
Right.
for a beer and wine?
Yes.
Okay.
And basically.
Has everyone in the restaurant taken ATAP?
He's taking ATAP, and another person's taking ATAP that works with him. It's a family-owned business. It's only him, his mother, and the prima and cousins at the premises. So it's all family completely.
And the community board, did he go in front of the community board?
Yes, he did.
And they don't object, or
No, they did. They supported his application. They even visited the premises.
do we have anything from them that you know of? They visited the premises?
Yeah, they go to the premises, yes.
No, I mean, as part of their meeting, did they
Ellos fueron, no.
Fueron al meeting, fuimos al meeting.
Yo sé que tú fuiste al
Yeah,
meeting,
I know.
pero- No, they did not.
Okay.
But they are aware of the place and they have visited the place, even though it's not part of the meeting, they're aware of it.
It says their only issue was music. Community Board 7,
Where do you see it?
the only concern of CB7 on the prior occasion was the issue of music.
Right, sometimes he's had, he doesn't have a DJ or anything, he's just had loud music, but he's changed that, he's changed that completely.
Le pusieron el soundproof y no, nada más lo que tenemos son dos bocinas.
Well, he said that basically there's only 2 speakers and he put soundproof in the place also.
Right.
And is that, tú dejas la puerta abierta, ¿verdad? Por eso. What he does is that he leaves the doors open, but he said he stopped that also.
Yeah, I have nothing. What are you reading from the community board?
That he disappointed his
statement.
application.
Oh, that's his statement.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That I did read. Okay. I mean, the community board didn't, there was a 500-foot hearing. The community board did not show up at the 500-foot hearing, and nor did they make a submission. So based on that, I'm going to assume that they don't have an objection.
I'm sorry, are you finished?
Yep.
All right, yeah. I agree. I recommend approval as well, in concurrence with the LJ.
No, I haven't approved yet, but that
Oh,
was.
well, that's where I'm going.
I'll approve based on the fact that it appears the community board does not have an objection. No DJs, no live music. What are your hours?
Los días de semana de 7 a 2, de 7 a 12, y los fines de semana de 7 a 1, 1:30.
He says during the week it's about till 12 o'clock p.m., a.m., and weekends is like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
All right, so 12 on weeknight, or I'll give them 1 o'clock on weeknights and 2 o'clock on the weekends.
Sunday through Wednesday, Sunday through Thursday? Gotta get a little
Yeah,
specific
Sunday,
there.
yeah, Sunday through Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, too. And under those stipulations, I'll approve. So no DJs, no live music, 1 o'clock during weeknights, and then 2 o'clock Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Approved.
I don't have appearances for anyone else.
They're just court watchers.
Yeah, no, could we take a short break? Then I can
Yes.
deal with.
And then, wait, why don't we deal with, I think this woman might have a case
No,
on?
it's,
Oh.
she was given direction to show up here.
Okay. 5 minutes.
Got it. I need the mic.
Yeah, turn them
Okay, we're back, and we have one more item of appearance, it's number 02019, Royal Natural Corporation.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Mohammed Nagy, the owner of Royal Natural Carp.
You had a license canceled already by us?
Yes, sir.
Sales to minor?
No, Your Honor. Actually, I applied for a license on 1795 Amsterdam Avenue.
Right.
And I ended up surrendering the license. My man passed away, and I closed the store, and I went back home. I came back, and I seen the store was running by under another people. But they was using my license. I came here to cancel my license. They told me they can't do nothing. I have to go back to the place and call 911 and try to get the license from them. Actually, I did that, and the police officer, they told me I can do nothing.
I'm not following you. You had a store at
1795 Amsterdam Avenue.
and you had a license.
I
in the
applied for a
store,
license.
And then you left and went where?
I went back to Yemen. My mom passed away. I ended up surrendering the
How
license.
long were you in Yemen?
I was there for almost 1 year.
And who was running the store?
I surrendered the lease to the landlord, and I closed the store down, and I
You
left.
didn't turn your license in.
Then I never received it. It was still in process when I left the country.
So the license that you applied for, somebody else was using?
Yes, ma'am. And I actually came in here to the 4th floor, and I reported it, and they told me to go in, to go by the location and call the police department and try to get the license from them. And I actually did the same thing, but the police department refused. They told me they can't do nothing.
But you knew you had gotten the license before you left, right?
No, sir.
Well, you would have had to have come here, or could the licensing board have granted that, Jackie?
The representative could have picked it up. Somebody else other than him could have picked it up.
This is going back to 2013, you're talking about that license?
Yeah.
It could have been picked up by a rep or mailed or...
And I even came here more than one time and tried to cry, to tell them I need to cancel the license because someone else running the business.
So that wasn't you weren't working there anymore
No,
in
sir.
2012?
No, sir.
So none of these sales to minors, you were in Yemen when these happened?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And you're not going to sell to minors?
Of course not.
It was not like it was on deposit, it was on deposit, and somebody...
No,
No, he said he never
he indicated he applied and then went to Yemen, and while he was in Yemen, we granted the application. Someone delivered it to his store, which he apparently
Wow.
still owned, or no, he didn't own,
We
he
don't know
gave it.
how it got to whoever.
We
was
don't know how
running
it got to them, but
2011, July of 2011, you never picked up the license.
No, ma'am. The store was closed at the
did we
time I
make
left.
them pick it up in person?
They,
Do we keep track of who picks it up?
Somebody signing for it, yes, but not.
All right, well, it's not that big a deal. Well, what are you doing, what do you plan on doing since someone under using your name had a sale to minor issue? What are you doing for sales to minor?
I will never sell to minor. I mean,
I know you don't plan on doing them, but do you have some kind of plan in place to make sure it doesn't happen?
yes, sir.
What is it?
I have signs and I check IDs. It's no matter what. I mean, you could be even 40 years old. You still have to show ID.
40's not that old.
I got a big sign said, sorry.
He's playing it safe.
You must show ID for alcohol.
hire Victor Molina for that application?
I'm sorry?
Prior application, did you hire Victor Molina as a representative?
No, ma'am. I actually came here and they just told me to go on to the precinct, so I went over there.
No. When you filled out that application paperwork, did you do it yourself or did you have a representative do it?
And which one?
The first one.
The first one, I have a lawyer did that.
And do you know his name?
I believe his first name was Victor. I even went to his office and he was not there. He doesn't
That
exist anymore.
explains a lot. All right.
It's not even exists in his office anymore.
Okay. I mean, do you realize what happened to your name here as a result of this?
To be honest, I look like I got screwed over, but what?
No, you
For the
look
first
like you
license,
have,
yeah.
I mean, this is your history now, and it's going to follow you, and it looks like you did 4 sales to minors when it looks like you didn't. And based on what you're telling me, I believe you. But that's going to follow you, so if you get a couple here, you're going to be in trouble. But given the fact that it looks like he was not in charge of the premises when these sales to minor went on, which was my only concern with granting this application. And he has history as a manager of a Bronx grocery between 2013 and 2015 with no violations. I'll grant what is this, a beer and wine?
No, it's an AA.
Here.
Just beer. Okay, I'll grant the beer license.
Thank you.
I'll approve. I don't have a problem with that either. My question is, it says the members accepted an offer of cancellation and $1,000 civil penalty on an 8/27/13. Who would we have accepted that from?
Whoever sent it.
He submitted the no conditional contest plea. You indicated you came back to take care of that.
Yes.
Okay.
He
All right.
signed the,
That, he did that. Okay. All right. I approve.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Okay, and now I think we're actually done with the appearances. Okay, so the next matter I have is 1977.
Failed to respond.
3,500 fine.
3,500.
1978 and 1979.
This one says there was a late CNC dated August 24th, but I don't think it was in with the materials.
What was it?
I don't know.
was that after the hearing?
It was after, it was like, instead of a statement of mitigation, they submitted an offer, which is why I think it's not included.
Do you know how much it was?
I don't, I forgot to write that down.
I'll, 5,000 fine.
5,000, fine.
No.
I
19,
I was more concerned about going under it than I was.
It's 1,500.
Okay.
I don't think you went under it. 1980.
Accept.
6,000, accept.
1981.
500 that's the correct amount, right?
This is,
Renewal?
I'm sorry, I passed the wrong one.
Yeah, 500.
500.
1982.
Cancel and bond. Do we have bond available? Cancel and bond.
Wait, are they still even open? Cancel and bond, doesn't matter.
Commissioner Ford, did you?
Yes, cancel and bond, yes.
1983.
Do you consider a letter of warning on this?
Yes. Yep. Letter of warning based on the letter of mitigation.
Hey, that's what I recommended. All right, letter of warning.
1984.
5,500.
Sale to minor girl with real ID, 5,500.
1985.
All right, so I have a question with this one. It says on the front 18-year-old or under, but then the facts say 19-year-old, which is $500 difference.
I can check right now. The police referral. Police referral gives a date of birth of October 24th, 1997. So that makes him 19.
Okay, 3,000.
If Commissioner Kim was here, he would have done that math much
That's
quicker
because he
than
has
I
his
did.
abacus in his pocket.
Yes.
3,000.
1986.
3,000.
Failed to respond. 3,000.
1987.
Cancel and bond.
There's no bond because we claimed it.
Cancel, for the record.
Cancel.
1988.
3,000 because of history.
3,000 because of history.
1989.
3,500.
Here's another one, BP Gas, same as 1985, I noticed. Wonder if there's something going on there. 3,500.
1990.
Now, this one I have as it is an 18-year-old in the facts, but the sheet indicates otherwise.
I can check.
Just be 3,000?
If it's 18 or younger, it's 3,500. If it's 19, if he's 19, it's 3,000.
All right. Didn't waste any time.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
You know what? Forget it. 3,500.
3,500 it is.
Because it is 10 days after they got their license.
1991,
1,000.
1,000.
1992,
Cancel, no bond.
Cancel, no bond.
1993,
Accept. What's, it is bonafide now. Yeah, accept.
Send in the check already. Yep, we accept. 1,500.
1994,
6,000, accept.
6,000, accept.
1995,
10,000, accept.
10,000, accept.
1996,
6,000, accept.
6,000, accept.
1997,
6,000, accept.
6,000, accept.
1998,
6,500, accept.
6,500, accept.
1999,
5,000.
Disorderly conduct.
It's low, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was low, and I also didn't understand what the manager was arrested for, but the police referral simply indicates that the manager was arrested for all of the above.
Just throw it against the wall. I'll go counter with 7,500.
7,500, counter.
2000,
2,000, accept.
Just 'cause we're getting it. 2,000, accept.
2001,
God.
Seem to have a
Yeah,
habitual
this-
problem here.
Well, it's. I would cancel and bond. That's a year later, right?
They paid in June of 2015, and they was suspended on June of 2016.
Yeah, I'm canceling and bond.
Cancel and
Counter
bond.
and cancel and bond.
2002,
Accept,
Accept.
2003,
accept,
Accept.
2004,
accept,
Accept.
2005,
accept,
Accept.
2006,
accept,
Accept.
2007,
accept,
1,500, accept.
2008,
I was going to dismiss charge 2 because I don't have evidence that there was a conviction.
dismiss 2,
Dismissed.
yeah, and therefore, I'll go to 2,000. Lower the fine to 2,000.
2,000 offer.
2010,
Accept,
Accept.
2011,
accept,
Accept.
2012,
The agenda sheet says suspension and bond, but it's cancellation and bond.
yep, accept, cancel, and bond.
Cancel and bond. Unlimited drinks for 2 hours for $10.
2013,
Accept,
Accept.
2014,
accept,
Accept.
2017,
accept,
Accept.
2018,
This one I was going to send back to counsel's office for being low and to fix some of the charges.
Are you going to cancel charges?
Yes.
Okay, send back to council, because I was going to,
Back
Have
to
an
council.
offer.
yeah, it was cancel and bond, but if you're going to drop some, then.
Okay.
All right, 2022 has been adjourned. 2026 has been adjourned. 2033.
I'm sorry, adjourned with a specific date?
I'm sorry, they're all 927.
$1,000, okay, for the 10 pounds of marijuana.
1,000.
Oh, that's a party.
Wait, 10 pounds? I thought it said, oh, at first I thought the L was 101 pounds.
All right, 2037 was sent back to licensing.
Yep.
2038 was withdrawn.
Thank goodness.
2041.
Accept.
Accept.
2042.
Accept.
Accept.
2043.
I don't know.
A kilo.
Do we know if this drug, if he was found on the premises with this, it's a kilo of coke?
2043?
Yes.
No, the DC, well, let me look in the DCJS and see if it. It might say the location of the arrest.
I mean, that's like $30,000 worth of.
The place of arrest, place of crime, Queens County.
Nope. Well, that could be. This is Port Washington. This is NASA. All right. All right, I'll accept the 1,200.
1,200 accepted.
2045.
I thought this was low.
Yeah, I did too. I got counter 10,000. And make sure that Pahuki's license comes to the board, because he apparently is applying for another one.
Pretty testy guy, huh? What did you say, Chairman? 10,000?
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
Now, how do we do that? The Pahuki was the manager. Apparently, he's applying for a license. Well, if you can't, you can't. Just if you can, try.
The next one is 2046.
I'm withdrawing charge 2. There was only one minor, one sale.
2,500. Due to their history, good history.
2,500.
Counsel, you said you're withdrawing charge 2?
Yes. Yeah, we withdraw charge 2.
All right, 2047.
Cancel and bond. Antibiotics, untaxed cigarettes, phony business license.
Yeah. Cancel and bond.
2048.
1,500. That's right?
1,500.
2049.
6 months is 2,500?
I think so. Sorry, I don't have it in
Or
front
is
of
it
me.
2,000?
2,000 up to it. I'm sorry, yeah, a year or more is 2,500.
All right, 2,000.
2,000.
2050.
I would lower this to 5 or even lower if you want.
I was thinking a letter of warning.
Okay, letter of warning.
2051.
Accept.
Accept.
2052.
Accept.
Accept.
2053.
Accept.
Accept.
2054.
Accept.
Accept.
2055.
3,500.
3,500.
2056.
500. Oh, do we do a letter of warning on history like that?
You can do whatever you want to.
No, I know, but what's the?
It's a default.
Oh, 500. 500.
500.
2057.
Cancel. No bond.
Cancel, no bond.
2058.
I think this could just be the 3,500. It's the same.
Oh, so what do you want to dismiss one or?
I could, if you'd like to. you can dismiss one too, but
So dismiss charge 2 and 3,500.
Dismiss charge 2, 3,500.
2059 and 2060.
Oh, cancel and bond, accept.
Cancel and bond, accept.
2061.
Accept 1,500. Tax didn't suspend the license here for some reason. Is it because it was just 3 packs, you think?
I don't know.
1,500, accept.
15.
2064.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Cancel and bond, accept.
2066 and 27,
Do you want Mr. Katsouris to appear for this?
Well, I'm more concerned about us. Like, the cops just blew her off?
Yeah, I actually had to fill in this day and negotiated this plea when we didn't have any police officers.
Did we call and find out why? Afterwards, I mean?
I may have. I can look into it.
I mean, they just shouldn't, what's the point of them doing that? Someone needs to explain to them, you're gonna sit there and write all this crap up and not enforce any of it.
And if you see from Mr. Katsouris's letter, he thinks a lot of the charges they would have been successful on, and he believes Lieutenant Myers is the issue.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that he needs to take up with the police tomorrow. I'll accept the 1,500, but,
15,000, you mean?
I mean, 15,000, right?
Accept it.
2067 is being sent back to council's office.
What was that?
There was a C&C received the same day it was being.
Oh, right.
You know what it was for?
Yes, I don't remember, I did read it.
2068.
Letter of warning.
Letter of warning.
2069.
Accept letter of warning.
Letter of warning.
2073.
3,000, okay.
3,000, accepted.
2074.
They had 3 years without workman's comp.
Which is why I thought this was low.
I'll take it, though. 4,500, accept. I mean, I was gonna go to 6, but it's not worth it to.
4,500, accept.
2075.
Accept.
Accept.
2076.
Accept.
Accept.
I don't have any other items on the calendar.